Conspiracy Theory. Starring Tunnel Vaughn Griffin, Karen Torres, Leslie Danneberger, Lloyd Montgomery, and me, the GM, Brandon Blackmore. This week's game brought to you by Janis Joplin's favorite drink, Southern Comfort. Alrighty. Last week, I'm going to summarize briefly, and if you guys have the feeling you need to fill something in, you can do that after I finish. So, yeah. Alan Brennan, Leslie's character, in sifting through all of the data that Alan got from Max, from the network, concluded that the reason that Alan's whole team got killed was because backing up through the history of it, that 4 people from, I've forgotten the word for it, not squad, like a bigger word than that, bigger word than squad. Unit, that's what I wanted. 4 people from Alan's unit in MI-13 had been assigned as private security for a function for Lord Lewellyn of Steep. So, and that for reasons you don't know, those 4 people were marked for death, and by extension, everyone they may have talked to was also marked for death, which essentially meant that all 36 people who were in Alan's unit all were marked for death, and eventually all but Alan got killed. And what you figured out was that the person who actually was the one they were worried about, like the domino that put all this into effect, was, what was her name? Lieutenant, I had it here a second ago. Where is she? I know I just had her. Samantha Hodge, Lieutenant Hodge, who was a member of Alan's unit. Like, Alan was a captain, and they're like, how many lieutenants would be with a captain in about 36 people? Like 2, 3?
2, I think.
2? Okay. So there's 2 lieutenants. There's Brennan, although that wasn't his name in MI-13. But there's Brennan, who's a captain. There's a couple of lieutenants, and then there's, various and sundry. So Lieutenant Hodge was the one who apparently was the security leak, and then the other 3 and Lieutenant Hodge, who had been tasked with private security at this function at Lord Lewellyn of Steep's estate, they were burned, and by extension, at some point, it was decided that everyone who was part of their unit would be burned in case they told anybody whatever it was that they might have told anybody. Boom. So, there you go. You found out that the guy who actually sent the memo to set all this in motion was Rupert Carrington, a minor functionary in the Department of Health, who worked at Skipton House in London, which is just kind of a boring brown and glass 5-story, 6-story office building. So you spied on him for a bit. This is going back a couple of weeks. Spied him for a bit, and then while you were spying on him, literally dozens of soldiers in black nondescript uniforms, well, except for the fact that they were like black uniforms. What I mean is, like, they didn't have like logos and flags. They didn't have anything like that. They're just basically black uniforms
with red eyes.
With red eyes painted onto their helmets.
Right.
Up here. They tried their level best to kill you, which is, I don't think I pointed this out at the time, but historically, the people you've come up against haven't generally just flat out wanted to kill you.
Yeah.
Like Black Book.
They generally haven't been all that competent.
These were pretty competent.
They were relatively
guys
competent.
Were very competent and looking to kill us.
And they absolutely simply wanted to kill you. There was no attempt at a conversation. There was no join me and we can rule. There was none of that. It was just they just flat out were assigned to kill you. So there's
either
that.
we have a new player, or the Illuminati has decided to finally get a little subtle.
Subtle.
I'm leaning toward the first one.
Yeah, me too. Because what are the chances?
Fast forwarding a bit, you did not lose those guys. They trapped you in a parking garage. You were pretty much just all gonna die. Then Charlotte summoned aid, and that showed up in this form of the Rowdy Three, which were 4 psychic vampires with the who really like breaking things. So
That was really awesome, by the way.
Fun.
I'm glad you like that. I'm glad you like that. So they showed up in their shitty.
I have it going on in my head in like Bruce Timm artwork.
So I could totally see that. Yeah. So they showed up in their shitty van, and just basically just started kicking ass, and you guys got away. Then you went back, and this is last week. Then you went back, realizing that now that you think Rupert Carrington has been like outed as a member of whatever. Alan, what do you want, kitty cat? Hmm? What do you want? Come up here. Oh, she's all alone because Susan's out tonight. Hello, kitty. Say hello.
Aw.
Say hello.
Okay.
I'm Vixen.
Anyway, Alan figured now that he thinks whoever Rupert works for knows that you were on to Rupert. Rupert's probably not long for this world, so you didn't think you had time to delay. You abducted Rupert Carrington, took him to Wales, to a safe house that Alan has, interrogated him for a while. He was not... I don't know, was he as helpful as you hoped, or less helpful? I'm thinking he was less helpful than you hoped. But he did give you information.
We discovered a nasty piece of work by reading his mind, or she read his mind.
That's true.
Well,
We found out he's a nasty piece of work.
No,
he
kinda
was
ridiculous.
he was a lot less helpful than we had hoped for, but he did give us the next link in the chain.
Mm-hmm.
And so it wasn't a useless endeavor.
Right. He's the one who actually told you about Lord Lewellyn of Steep.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. And then you put him on a ferry, unconscious, to where? Ireland?
Ireland.
Okay. You put him on a ferry to Ireland, and then went back to Wales and relaxed for a bit. And as far as you can tell, you are safe. Nobody's followed you to Wales. There's no soldiers surrounding the house. And you have some information. You know where to go next. And here we are. And we are starting. So, what now?
We have to make a plan.
Obviously.
First, we need to gather info on this Lord Steep
Yeah.
case.
In the Circle of Enlightened Masters to Preserve the Crown of Britain.
Yeah.
Wow.
I wrote it down.
Was that what I called it? Good heavens.
I think you actually call it something else on the website.
Actually, I like what you said better. I couldn't remember what I said. So hang on. I'm going to change that. What was that? The
Circle of Enlightened Masters to Preserve the Crown of Britain.
I like that better than what I had
Oh, okay.
on the website. Because I knew I called it something, but I couldn't remember what. So I just Googled like secret society names, and I tried to find something that was like kind of close to what I remember calling it. But yeah, that's
Okay,
good.
so what the internet really needs is one of those click button random generators for
Secret society.
secret society names.
Circle of Enlightened Masters to Preserve the Crown of Britain. I like it. So go on with what you're saying. I'm sorry.
Oh, that was Leslie. Yeah, so.
Okay, who is Kenneth Clark?
Ah,
Yeah, we need to know about Lord Lewellyn Steep Nose.
Yeah.
so here's the. Oh, Did Susan come home? Vixen just ran out of the room. I think Susan must be home. All right, so here you go. Here's a message you got last week, and I'm just doing it to remind you. Okay, so there's that.
And that's why I made the question: who is Kenneth Clark?
No, I'll give you the new one in a minute, but this
Okay.
is last week.
Mhm.
And Leslie, pretend you don't know that yet.
Okay.
I'll tell you that shortly. So that one hasn't been shared with you yet.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
So yeah. Anyway, go ahead. Now what? You need a plan, you say?
We need a plan.
Well, I'll see what I can find out about Lord Lewellyn of Steep.
Lord Lewellyn of Steep is a former member of the House of Lords. He was so-and-so secretary of whatever, and he has since kind of retired from the political end of things.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. He's was at one time the UK ambassador to France, and at one time he was the Downing Street chief of staff, which is kind of like, like the president has a secretary of state and secretary of this and secretary of that, and then there's like the person who's in charge of all those. He was like that.
Wow.
Not the prime minister, but the prime minister's like number 2 guy. At one point, he's not anymore. He's still a peer, member of the British nobility, and he's got an extensive.
Not quite
State.
a Walpole, more a John Law.
If you say so. I don't know. So anyway,
Walpole was the first prime minister in Downing Street,
okay.
and John Law was one of the people who helped to crash the world economy so badly that England is still paying off the interest on it.
Wow, that sounds
Like
bad.
300 years later. Yeah, it was the invention of margin trading and paper money.
And that was back with like the when corporations really started to be a thing, right?
Like trying to pay, like trying
Like the
to
East
pay
India
off
Company and all that.
the South Sea Company is the one you really
South Seas
want to look
Company.
up.
Anyway,
Check out
so
the
yeah,
South Sea
he
Company.
was a mover
The
and
South
shaker.
Sea Trading Company almost actually did a little bit of trading, but they lost money on it.
He was at one point a political mover and shaker. He is no longer. Not publicly, anyway.
All right, can I find out any really good dirt on him?
Like what kind of dirt? I'm curious.
Well, let's see. If he was a member of Parliament and a member of the House of Lords, he's probably going to be at least what, pedophile, homosexual proclivities, some kind of sexual perversion. You know?
Well, back when he was in his heyday, being a homosexual was probably terribly scandalous. Nowadays, not so much.
Not so much.
So if it came out nowadays, people would be like, yeah, he's cooler than I thought he was. So times change.
Right.
Let's see what else. There were occasional scandals, like people would accuse him of this or that, or but it all went away. People realized that they were wrong and had misidentified him, or they simply never showed up in court, things like that. So perfectly innocent stuff.
Yeah, start putting together a portfolio of this guy's misdeeds.
Okay.
Find out what's his political leaning. The right wing or left wing?
Conservative.
Okay.
Well, England conservative, which is what Tory? Tory, right? Yeah. So kind of like American Democrat, because our conservatives are like way that way compared to everybody else's. So, but as
Yeah, on the international scale, our most centrist politician is Bernie Sanders.
no, he's just a step left of center, but just a step. Like our right wing, our mainstream right wing party is Democrat, and then you've got like the wingnuts and all that. Anyway, but yeah, here's the thing though, Lord Llewellyn, essentially centrist, conservative centrist, like never really went out on a limb on anything. Preserving the status quo, preserving, the heritage and honor and respect that is due to Britain. He probably, if he was asked, he probably would have voted or said he would vote for leaving the EU. But that's like as far as his extremism would go, would be leaving the EU. He wouldn't come out right out and say, "Yeah, send out all the foreigners home," like that kind of stuff. He's not that extreme. He's very middle of the road, stay the course, don't change it if it's not broken, and maybe don't change it even if it is broken. Kind of a politician.
Okay.
Historically. And like I say, he's not really in it anymore. He's retired from the political life probably like a good 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like 2017? Yeah, early 2000s. Very early 2000s, he withdrew. Somebody else took over as ambassador to France, and he's just like a normal private citizen now.
Okay. Apparently, you can't find dirt on him because his buddies in this secret society have found a way to make sure those who do find dirt on him disappear.
I didn't say that.
Well.
But there is with any public figure, there are the occasional rumors or scandals or somebody who wants to make an accusation. But in his case, they've basically all been resolved in more or less peaceful appearing manners.
What's his net worth?
Oh, it's just stupid.
In the tens of millions?
It's, yeah, I'm not familiar enough with how rich people are. Like the people who are like the top 20 in the world, I can give you numbers for those because they're online. Ajit Premji, the guy you actually met. Hang on. Did I get his name right? Azim Premji. Yeah, the Indian gentleman you guys met in Tiger's Nest. Like his net worth is in the billions. So I can look that kind of stuff up. But the actual somewhere between like the top 1% and the top 0.1%, I'm a little fuzzy on how much those people actually own. But suffice to say, this guy
I'm pretty sure their
just
governments are a little bit fuzzy on it too.
Probably so. But let's just say he inherited a whole lot of money, and he probably has more now. So he comes from a family that has been stupidly rich for a very, very, very long time. Like he can probably trace his ancestry back to like the days of Oliver Cromwell or before that even.
No, 1066.
There you go.
Six families from the Battle of Hastings in 1066 own 98% of the land in the UK.
There you go. He's one of those guys. I mean, it's it's the names change periodically as the centuries go by, but he can trace back his ancestry back to that one of those 6 families. Sure, why not?
Interesting.
Anything else?
All right, what else do you want to know about this guy?
What we need to do is find an inn. So we can
Like
find
an
out
inn? Like someplace to sleep?
like find a way into his presence,
Oh,
his
oh,
confidence, or some way we can get into his house, or because whatever happened, it's got to be in his house somewhere. The clue to it, anyway.
Where is his stately manor, Brendan?
And what kind of media does he consume?
how would you know that? I mean, how would you know what media he consumes? He's an old white guy. He probably reads actual newspapers.
Yeah, he gets
Yeah.
the delivered every morning.
Yeah, he doesn't have Netflix. he doesn't he doesn't
Yeah,
use
yeah.
he doesn't use Facebook. he's an ancient white guy. So
Well, then it ought to be fairly easy to set up a newspaper interview.
Dude, this
what
guy's
was
gonna
it?
get buddy. He has people to do that for him.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's there's yeah.
I was gonna
He
say,
is-
make up some random honor that he's been given, and you want to do a quick interview about it.
Yeah, but that gets us to see him. It doesn't necessarily get us a good look at his house, unless
Let's see. There's London, the Cotswolds. That sounds
No,
yeah. Cotswolds. That sounds like a. Oh, actually, he's Lord Lewellyn of Steep. Is there a Steep? Where's
Yes.
Steep?
one would assume so.
Steep. He's of Steep, so you would think there's a Steep somewhere. Steep. Oh wait, I did look for this.
Yeah, it's in Hampshire.
Well, clearly that's what the map says. Yes, his estate is in Hampshire, which is along the southern coast of England. So there you go. And he's got other estates elsewhere, but his main estate, which is hundreds of acres, and has its own forests with their own names. They show up on maps, things like that.
now there's also another way we can maybe try to figure things out. These 4 people that were targeted for death because they were at this function. Is there any possibility that anybody who knows them is still alive?
Well,
We
they
find-
presumably have friends and family.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
The red area on this map is Hampshire, and Steep is in Hampshire
Mm-hmm. Somewhere.
somewhere. We're gonna say southern
No, it's on the eastern border, I think.
of Hampshire.
Yes.
Okay, fine, whatever. Close enough. Moving on.
Okay, but, you see that green line, the green line running up the eastern side, and
Which
then
is a
another
road, I
green line
assume.
comes and tees into it.
Mhm.
Steep is at that intersection.
Okay, great, awesome. But it's southern edge of England, basically. Which reminds me of something that Rupert Carrington said. He referred to something that happened near the border with Scotland. He said there was something very near the border of Scotland, and that's where they actually went for this private function. So-
Wasn't that where the true King of England is supposed to be hanging out?
Yeah.
Something like that. He
Yeah.
was kind of vague, and what information you did get from him was through his dream state, through Charlotte. So there's a lot of symbolism and images. Hey, kitty.
Did
What?
mention the true king at one point.
Yeah.
While not being unconscious.
Yeah, he probably did say something about that when he wasn't unconscious. But whatever it was that happened with the 4 people who were the initial 4 people of Alan Brennan's unit to get sucked into this, that's somewhere near the border between England and Scotland, because Carrington actually mentioned that. So Steep, not there. It's almost literally as far away from it as you can get and still be in England.
Then maybe
so-
it isn't Steep we want to go to right now.
Maybe not.
Start back checking where those 4 people were near the border of Scotland. See if we can track it down.
Make a roll, because
Okay.
let's make you work for that a little bit.
All right. I rolled extremely average. I rolled 7 on 2 dice. So if I'm doing computer research, that's a 10. If it's got anything to do with chaos, then it's a 12.
It's a computer thing. However, it's fairly straightforward, so it's not that big a deal. No, that's not what I wanted. Okay. There is actually Cumbria.
Yep.
Sifting through the data dump that Max gave you guys, well, intended for Alan, but you find that Cumbria is mentioned, like something about Cumbria assignment is like mentioned inside of a memo somewhere. Cumbria is actually on the northern border of England, so that's something. At least it reinforces what Carrington told you.
Right. Start looking for land or castles in the Cumbria area.
Well, there are some. So, while you're doing that, let's see. Donald, Mark Morgan doing anything fun or interesting while they're... Because, I'm sorry, Mark Savage says John Morgan is furiously typing, which is, just all kinds of fun to watch. And Alan Brennan...
You need to feel like the Decker in a Shadowrun game.
And Alan Brennan is essentially doing the same thing, but in like a less tech way, like flipping through PDFs and text files and just like reading carefully to see if Alan can find some bit of information that he's overlooked before. And
yeah.
So what's Mark Savage doing while this is going on? You're in a house in Wales. It's a lovely house. Not huge. Well, actually, no, it is huge. It's like 7 rooms. It's a vast house. So.
Let's see now. Goodness, I got a new suit at the Templars. I've just had plenty to eat. Break into the liquor cabinet.
A man of cigarette, please.
I actually thought about drinking scotch for this game. I've got my brother-in-law really likes scotch, and every time we see him, he gives me a bottle of scotch. So I've got like 3 bottles of scotch and a couple of bottles of like really good Irish whiskey. So I got like some 12-year-old single malt scotch he gave me last time I saw him. I was going to drink that.
Which region?
Like,
Do you know which region?
No, I know one is...
Or the brand?
The one I was going to drink, which is because it's already open, is called Highland Park.
Okay, yeah.
So, anyway.
It's a Highland, nice and flowery.
Smoky. Okay. Charlotte, are you doing anything in particular while these people are doing their technical things?
No, not. I don't really have anything planned, unless people want to.
Just knock the door.
I'll get it. You guys, upstairs. It could be a neighbor. It could be trouble. And it is my house, so.
So who's getting the door?
I'm getting the door. It is my house.
Oh wow! All right. At the door is Samantha Hodge, who's supposedly dead.
She's looking good for a dead girl.
Yeah.
You're looking good for someone who's supposedly dead.
She looks around. She says, "Can I come in?"
Yes, please.
She steps inside.
Is she armed? Is she armed like your picture or no?
No, she's not standing there with a rifle. No,
but
but you know her, and you know she's armed. you don't see that she's armed, but you're positive she's armed. She's got like a overcoat and jeans and knit hat, like a toque or whatever.
I'm going to tell her, based on circumstances, and although I do trust you somewhat, don't go for any pockets right now, please. I'd appreciate it.
She like goes over to a window and like peeks out through the window, and she says, "I don't think I was followed."
I hope not, because this is a safe place.
I hope so. You're the only person I can trust.
Mm-hmm. So what's up?
Someone wants to kill our entire team.
It's a little late for that. We've done it.
Well, right. Sorry. Someone wants to kill you and me because we're all that's left of our team.
How did you escape anyway?
Parachute.
Okay.
The plane. I was in a plane with
Yeah,
three other people.
I have to
and-
reassociate which one was died where. Supposedly died, I should say.
Right. Well, she died along. Well, according to the records you turned up, she died along with like half a dozen other people who had nothing to do with your unit at all. She was like on a commuter flight between London and Paris, or something like that. I don't know. Not even Paris. Where's Brittany? Like just across the Chesapeake the Channel.
Apparently,
and then
you theoretically saw something that somebody didn't want to be known, and because they were sure that you probably had talked to somebody, that you and the other three that were with you had to die with anybody who was with you.
Damn it! I just wish I'd gotten to you sooner, because they're right. I would have told you had I had the chance, but I didn't have the chance. So before I knew it, our team members were getting killed. I tried to make my way to you. People were following me. I tried to lose them by taking a last-minute flight to France. And and she's got like an English accent. She's full on from England, but I'm not gonna do it.
Why don't you come in?
I tried to go to France. Oi! No, see, I can't even do it.
Try to go to France.
And then something happened with the engine, and then the plane was going down, and people were panicking, and I grabbed a parachute, and I opened the door, and I jumped out. And it took me like 3 hours to swim to shore to France, and I only got back like yesterday.
And I know for a fact she does have the training to do that. She could.
Well, yeah, you guys can all do that sort of thing.
Yeah, I figured as much. Yeah. Why don't you come in and sit down, because I'm going to talk to a friend of mine about making sure we are still.
Whoa, friend. She like goes to reach for a.
They're friends. Honestly.
You can't trust anyone.
These people I can, because they're helping.
Where'd you meet them?
I met them when after I almost got killed.
Really?
They're helping me. They're helping me try to find the people who almost got me killed and got the other members of the team.
Well, that's just a little bit convenient, isn't it? That you meet people who are helping you, trying to find other people who.
Wait till you meet
the people trying to kill us want to kill.
Yeah. Why don't you meet these people and you'll understand why. They're anarchists, sort of.
Why are they helping you?
Anarchists.
Well, I'm trying to reject you guys. Shut up. Because they're trying to. Well, what's the word I'm trying to come at? Leslie's trying.
Give it a thought for a minute. I'm gonna kiss Susan goodnight.
Anarchists.
What's the word I'm trying to think of that you guys?
She says hello.
Hi, Susan. You're trying to buck the system. At least I know that Morgan is.
I'm a Discordian myself.
Yes, you're a Discordian. You're trying to buck the system.
I'm a doctor. Thank you very much.
I personally think anarchists is pretty suitable for what you guys are.
I think so too.
I mean, I wouldn't even qualify with anything else like a rational anarchist or anything like that. No, I'm just an anarchist.
Needless to say, they are against the man, as it were.
Well, if you vouch for them, I'll keep an open mind. But I'm telling you, you cannot trust anyone.
These people you
the
can
people who are trying to kill us, they have people everywhere. And it is a miracle that you and I are both alive.
Yeah. Well,
but I've got a plan for that. But let's meet these other people.
Let's meet these other people, because I need to send one. I need to ask one of them for help to make sure this place is secure.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Ship follows you. Where do you go?
I'm going to introduce her to everybody. I'm going to ask Charlotte if she can. Can you check the perimeter, please, and make sure that my friend here wasn't followed for sure?
Let's give a look around.
Yes, please.
There they are.
Don't want her.
Alright, I'll go ahead and go have a quiet seat somewhere and go take a look and go for a walk, as it were.
Okay. Spend a weird point and roll some dice.
Lord. I only rolled a 3 on the dice. It makes it a 7 total.
Well, that's not great, but
You're annoying me.
you can walk around outside and you don't see anything obvious. You can. There's no like big black trucks parked across the street or anything. Yeah.
It doesn't mean they won't be on their way. We may have to move soon.
That's a good idea, she says.
Yeah.
She could find you. We definitely need to get out of here.
No, I didn't find you. I followed you.
That's even worse.
Yes, which means we definitely need to move. How much? I look at I guess Savage and say, who do I need to ask how much we want to trust her with the interesting little portal?
Well, I'd hate to see her turn inside out or bleed her brains out through her ears or anything.
What do we need to do?
What are you talking about?
We were going to get out of here, possibly.
Yeah, we got an escape hatch, but if you do it wrong,
it's not pretty.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to escape. I want to take the fight back to the people who did this and take
But
them down.
We need to escape here and go someplace where we can make a plan.
We're not planning to just leave it.
No, I've got a plan.
We're planning to go someplace else to plan.
No, I've got a plan. That's why I came to you. Not
Yeah,
them. You.
Okay.
Wait, god damn it. What the hell just happened? My entire screen just went.
Well, we can still see you.
Yeah,
Well, that's like everything on my screen.
Hold on a second.
Hang on. I'm gonna pause the recording because this is crazy.
Yeah.
Mnemonically, anyway.
Oh, there we go. The round red button is record, so the square red button must be stop.
Makes sense to me.
Well, you could have answered my question a minute ago then.
I was going to, but you didn't give me a chance to.
I figured it out on my own, and it's the only way I'm gonna learn. So,
we have to let him learn for himself.
Yes.
If I don't make mistakes, I won't learn.
Yes.
Speaking of the Displacer Beast, this reminds me of something, and this is going to be a digression. So just give me a minute, and I'm going to digress, and then we'll get back to kicking ass. All right, Displacer Beast. In a previous, I think it was actually a Pathfinder game that I played, but D&D, whatever. I generally assume that my character, unless my character has a reason to know what monsters are, because some characters do, they read books or whatever. My character didn't. My character was like a street urchin. So when we ran into a Displacer Beast, my character called it a sparkling tentacle cat. So whenever we talked about, the monster we ran into, my character would call it the sparkling tentacle cat. It's like, wow. And remember that sparkling tentacle cat? So anyway, because that's the kind of thing I do.
Well, I'm happy to say both my roommates have gotten home safely.
I'm so glad.
I just have this image of Boo from Monsters Inc. Kitty.
And eventually that'll time out, right, Leslie? I mean, it's got to time out eventually.
That's my understanding, is that it times out.
Wow. So you're in the house in Wales. Hodge is there. I'm just going to call her Hodge. And she wants to go take out Lord Lewellyn. Lord Lewellyn.
What's your plan?
We gear up. We go in. We kill them all. They killed our entire unit.
You know better than that. You don't go in without a plan. You don't go in without backup. You don't go in without having a contingency.
We don't have backup. All of our
You've never
backup is
gone
dead.
on. You know that.
All of our backup is dead.
Hold on a moment. Somebody mark the calendar. Because I think that plan lacks subtlety.
Okay, who are you? What have you done with Mark Savage?
That's what I'm saying. You see my point. I rest my case.
No, it's not that he's not Mark Savage. It's just it really doesn't lack subtlety. It's like they're going to be expecting it at this point.
Yeah.
No,
How'd you like
no,
things better
that's
than
just it. That's just it. Fuck, Brennan, that's just it. They're going to expect you to run to ground. Isn't that what you guys were probably even already talking about? Running to
No,
ground?
What?
No,
Okay,
we were
The
talking-
last
we were talk-
thing, the
we were
last thing
talking
they will
about
expect.
Sneaking in the back window when they're not looking.
And actually, there is some place we better go first before we go after Llewellyn.
Well, what's that?
To where,
Anyone
to
here?
where that little party was you were escorting, that you were covering.
Oh. Well, where
Because
would that be?
Whatever happened there. We need to know what it was.
Well, I can tell you what it was.
What was it?
Okay, this will sound weird,
Go for it.
but it's like some kind of secret society.
You meant the true
And-
king of England?
Hmm?
You meant the true king of England?
Maybe. All right. This is
We've been doing some
you're
research.
you're just gonna have to believe me on this, right?
Go for it.
They have a monster. It's a monster. It's
What
like
kind?
it's like little about this tall. It's wearing robes, and it's like kind of clumps when it walks. And one hand is like all scaly and has like not enough fingers, and the other hand is like an octopus.
Cool.
And they brought it out, and they did their whole rigmarole ceremony thing, and talked about how they're going to crown it on the night of the Ascension, so on and so forth, that kind of thing. And
It
Then
sounds
they-
squishy.
then it thumped and slid away, and yeah, I don't know what it was.
We need to kill it first.
It's not lizard men.
Did it look as squishy as it sounds?
It was wearing like a hood and a robe, so I mean, all I really saw was its hands, and it could have been fake for all I know.
Yeah, we
I
need
don't
to
really
kill
care about that. Here's the thing. I don't really care about all that. You know, they have some deformed person that they want to consider the real king or queen of England. I don't care. What I care about is they killed our unit. That's what I want to deal with. So if we go after Llewellyn now, with your friends here,
Doesn't
know.
solve the problem. Problem
It-
wasn't him.
it'll make me feel a lot better.
Mm.
And
Doesn't
they
solve the
won't
problem.
expect it. See, that's the thing. They won't expect it. They think they have you on the run.
Little do they know. No, we're not tending to run. We are tending to make a good plan first. If we are going to go in there full-fledged and kill everybody, I want to make sure we have backup and we have a contingency plan.
Backup from
we
who?
like we always do, Hodge.
Backup from who? We are on our own. We're the only two left.
Well, you ought to see these people fight too. They're pretty good.
Who, them?
Yes.
She looks at
And I might as well point
She
out
looks at the school teacher, the hacker, and the doctor, and then gives you a look like, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah, I'm terrible in a fight. I'll warn you of that right now.
Okay, fine. He's terrible in a fight.
Remember I told you that these people would be interesting to you? We all believe in monsters, believe it or not.
Some of us even are them.
I don't care about that. I don't care about monsters. The guy who pulled the trigger on our unit is Lord Lewellyn, and I know where he will be and when. And if we're there, we can take him out, minimal risk, and put an end to it.
Do you know how many
He's the
people-
one behind all this.
Well,
Now, getting in, not a big deal. Taking him out sounds pretty easy. The getting out afterward, I'm gonna need some details.
yes. And Hodge, you might want to think about where you want to go once you carry this out, because you will be hunted by every law officer in this country. All of us will.
I don't know if you noticed, but we're already wanted.
Oh, I know.
How
we
is this
are.
going to be worse? They literally want to kill us on sight.
He's got a point.
How will it be worse?
True. That is true.
Your photo's not up in every post office yet.
Well, so
Besides, people been trying to kill me for what? Almost of a year now?
Gosh, has it been that long?
Yeah, that's the price you pay for being popular, man.
I know. My introduction to all of this going on was to be rolling up the street on my bike and have a trash truck try and plow me in.
okay, Hodge, do you have a plan of the house? What's around it?
Yes,
How many
I do.
people we have? How many people we are going to be dealing with?
I can get it.
Good.
I can get you a plan of the grounds, a plan of the house. I can get you the security staff, the rounds, the times, where they'll be when. I've got all this planned out.
Get it. Bring it here.
I was actually my next step was to capture this guy Carrington, and
You've got
then
it already.
you got yes. That's how I found you, because I was gonna grab him.
How come
I was
we
gonna
know
grab him when he left his apartment, but then you guys came in, took him, and I followed you guys. I don't know who's. I don't know how you took care of the helicopters, but that was impressive. I'll give you that much. I don't know who did that. I didn't see rockets. I didn't see anything. The helicopters just went crazy and then crashed. So that's if that was you, that's
Be right back.
something. But
Yeah.
Then you
So I-
understand why I trust my friends.
okay, fair enough. So, but I can get you all the intel you need.
Get it now, and do that, please, because we are going to make a plan before we go in killing everybody.
Okay. How about weapons? Are we set for that?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
You forget who you're dealing with.
No, I don't. I'm here. You know.
Yes, we
I'm
have
here.
weapons, lots of weapons.
So she like goes to the window and looks out, and she's like, "Is there anything else you're gonna need to know before I come back? Because I don't really want to be in the street any more than I have to be."
Right. Yes, just plans for the house, who's there, what the rounds are, etc., etc. All right, and what the neighborhood is. We want the neighborhood plans as well, or at least enough of them that we know who else might be alerted.
Okay. She looks at her watch. Okay, I've got. I don't know. Let's say it's late afternoon. I've got 2:16. I'll be working on this probably all night. I'll see you in the morning. All right, around 10 a.m. Okay. She looks out the window and opens the door and slips out and then hustles across the street and then walks down the street.
Okay. I probably should have asked Charlotte to delve into her mind, because she knows a lot of things she shouldn't know.
She's also seems to be very small picture.
Mm-hmm. Very small picture, but she also knows a couple things she shouldn't know. Like my real name.
And the fact granted she followed you here,
Yes.
but yeah.
I'm thinking that we should, as a whole, relocate someplace else.
Yes.
And I can come back tomorrow morning. Wait for her to show up before I go into the house and make sure she doesn't have anybody with her.
Yeah. Even if, before she was going to show, I was going to say we shouldn't stay.
No, we shouldn't. I know another place. There's a nice hotel in town that I also know is pretty safe. Um, I'm good friends with the bartender. He can make some arrangements.
Brendan, where's the nearest gateway to Agartha?
Where is it, by the way?
Sorry, from Wales? Let's see. They tend to be in cities, but not always. Sometimes they're in the middle of nowhere. Wales, England. Let's see what we got. See what looks fun. Oh, I wonder.
Shrewsbury.
What are you smoking?
Yeah, just picked up a pipe every so often.
Any particular mix or whatever?
Yeah, I picked it up at the tobacco store. It's a really nice light blend. The Twins Tobacco. It's old number 7.
Cool. Sounds fun. Okay, let's see. Maps. Mapsy maps. Mappity maps. Oh, come on. Okay, it can't find it there. Ding. Pembrokeshire. Let's see. Can we find that? Oh, there we go. Well, it's not what I was looking for, but it'll do. Okay. You don't have a map of the portals to Agartha, to the labyrinth. But if you like just focus for a minute and try to think about where the nearest one is, it is west of you. Like almost directly west, which is not the direction of London.
Okay,
So-
there's not a whole lot west of Wales, unless we're going to Ireland.
Well, it's closer than London, so it's probably not
Well,
Ireland.
yeah, by a long shot if it's west of us.
Yeah.
Unless we're going to Ireland.
Again, it's closer to where you are than London, so it's not Ireland. Let's see, where is London from here? Okay, yeah. It's definitely closer to where you are than London.
Yes.
Is there like a satellite view? That'd be fun. Yeah, it's in the middle of farmland, looks like. Of course, you don't know that. You'd have to actually go look for it to find it. But it's west of you, and that's really all you know. This closest one.
Okay, let's head
Where
west.
are we in Wales?
Hell if I know. But Wales is only so big, so where could you be? Did you have somewhere in particular in mind, Leslie?
Center.
Let's
I
see.
figured he didn't live that far away from that lord whose house we crashed, because he probably actually
Well,
knew
that
him.
was that started with the C. What was it? It wasn't Cumberland. It was
Cardiff.
Cardiff. Damn it! I don't think it was
No,
Cardiff.
Cardiff was way down. Cardiff is way down near Bristol.
Where is it?
It was
London, Templars.
the really long name.
Cornwall. That's where that house was. The country estate that most of Alan's team got killed at. That's in Cornwall. And
Yeah.
my British geography sucks, so I'm not even sure where Cornwall is from Wales. But anyway,
But I'm
let's
in
see.
Wales,
you're in Wales.
somewhere not too far from there.
Let's say, for sake of argument, is Hereford in Wales? Hereford. Cathedral City, county town of Herefordshire, England. No, that's still England. Okay, so we got a little bit west of that.
Yeah, no,
Let's see.
Cornwall's way south.
How about Carmarthen?
That sounds good.
Is Carmarthen? That's in Wales, and that's like a town. Awesome.
Yes.
Great.
Okay.
So you're in the outskirts of Carmarthen.
Mm-hmm.
This is west of you.
Okay, southern Wales,
Sure.
down by Swansea.
Yep. Sounds good.
Interesting. There's such weird. Man, geography is so weird. So there's Carmarthen, and yeah, it's actually slightly northwest. It's not due west from where you are. It's like west and then slightly north. There's a major highway that runs pretty much straight west. So at some point you'll need to go north from there, I would imagine.
Yep.
I may as well just show you a map. So in case that's why I don't need to describe it later. As you figure out where it is, here's where it is.
Totally. I'd like to give her the benefit of the doubt.
Okay, so here's Carmarthen. You're in the outskirts here. That's where the closest portal is. It's nowhere near.
Where that little arrow thing is?
Yeah, the red one. Carmarthen is where I'm pointing right now. And then the... actually, can you see my pointer?
Like Rosebush?
Oh, okay.
Do you guys see my pointer at all?
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
No, my actual, like, cursor.
Oh, your
No.
cursor? No.
Oh, alright. Well, Carmarthen is kind of in the middle of the screen. And then to the left and up from that is Gore's Fower Stone Circle, which is in the middle of farmland. There's, like, no freeway near it. There's no major cities near it. It's in the middle of nowhere. That's the closest portal from where you are.
Okay.
That's your sense.
Really portal out right off the bat. I want to be able to give her the benefit of the doubt, because we could use her help if she really is what she says she is.
No, I'm just making sure that we've got a bolt hole available.
Yeah, we do. Looks like it. Which is why I'm saying, why don't you go into town and take up residence in one of the? We'll take up residence in one of the hotels, and then I'll come back in the morning and keep an eye on the house until she shows up.
All right, and I'll check on the portal.
That sounds like a good idea.
All right, guys, while that's going on, I'll be back in a few minutes.
Okay, and when he's got a map for it, I will, when he's got a location for it, I will pour over the map so that I can, a couple of different ways in and out.
As the crow flies, it's about 20 miles from where you are, but driving there, it's
back roads.
It's probably closer to 30, maybe 35 to 40, and most of them are back roads. At least half of them are back roads. So it's a good long drive. It takes him like an hour to get there at least. So he's gone pretty much all night. What are you guys doing?
Well, we're moving into town or something.
Yeah.
Okay, you check in somewhere.
Yeah. And I'm going to be up at the crack of dawn or earlier to keep an eye on the house. Probably in wolf form.
Okay.
Because I want to make sure she comes back alone.
Sounds reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get a nice picture of this. Oh, that's cool. Good heavens. Wow. That's crazy. I'm just looking at geography and stuff. Alright. So we have this, got that. Let's zoom in on this. What do we see? There's a road. It's not very far off of a road, looks like. You would think you could see stones from space. Well, it's somewhere near there. Okay, so you go check in somewhere. Ellen Brennan goes all wolfy and is sneaky, and it's a fairly small town as towns go, so it's not like you're going through city streets. So you're all stealthy. People walk by all the time, and you hide behind a trash can or up on a building rooftop or whatever, and you avoid being seen. Just give you that as a gimme. What are you guys doing while John Morgan is driving to the next portal and scoping it out and theoretically coming back at some point? What are you guys doing?
Well, if it's gonna take, well, it's only gonna take probably take them what, an hour to get out there, or maybe a bit more because we're gonna be looking for it. An
Yeah,
hour to
he's
get back.
gonna be gone like 3 solid hours at least. You think?
I might go with him just so I can, if I have to, I can always try to teleport us there.
Oh, all right. Okay. So you go with him. Of course, if you teleport, you probably won't be bringing the car back with you. Hey, you might. Who knows? I don't know. All right. So, Mark Savage, what are you doing while everybody else is off doing other stuff? So what are you doing?
Gosh, what is there for me to do? I'm kind of the action dude. This is my downtime.
The hotel is attached to a bar.
The hotel has on demand and pay-per-view and all that. You can see what would be on there now, right about now. Oh, the most recent Spider-Man movie. If you've not seen that, it's got Michael Keaton as the bad guy, the Condor or the Vulture or something like that.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty decent.
Yeah, it is. I really liked the way they balanced Peter Parker, the high schooler, with Spider-Man, the superhero.
Yeah, I was surprised that I liked it. Yeah.
Yeah, they really did a good job of making you feel Peter Parker, the high school student.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Well, they're gone for hours. So
okay, so
eventually,
I'm watching movies.
You're watching movies. That's fine. So eventually, who comes back first? I'd say
my character has a really strong work ethic.
Alan comes back first.
He feels strongly against working.
I'll give you a freebie, Alan. No one is watching the hotel that you're in. It's a tiny hotel. It's probably the whole hotel only has less than 20 rooms.
Well,
and
I'm not too
it's
worried
like,
about the hotel. I'm worried about my house, and that's in the morning when she shows up.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I got
late
an early
in the
Christmas
evening.
present.
Oh, cool. Ooh,
It's a copy of Historia Discordia.
Nice.
the true history. Late that evening, like close to midnight, John Morgan and Charlotte Day come back.
Okay.
You guys found the stone circle, which I will show you kind of what it looks like. It's a field. It's a bunch of boulders in a field. And it's not Stonehenge. It's nowhere near that impressive. It looks like this. It's rocks in a field.
Yeah, kind of anticlimactic, to be perfectly honest.
It's like
But somebody put a portal there.
it's pitch black outside because there's like no city lights anywhere near this. So it is full on darkness. So you've got a flashlight and you're like just roaming around in the direction you feel is the right direction. And there's no buildings, there's no doors, there's no nothing. You're like, what the hell? Where could this portal possibly be? And
in the center of the circle.
over at the side of the edge, there's like a big boulder with like a bunch of grass and a shrub and stuff. There is a tunnel. It's just barely big enough to crawl through, but it is big enough to crawl through. At the bottom of that tunnel, it comes out into the labyrinth, Agartha.
Huh. So we would have to abandon the car there anyways. This is like, we need to get the heck out of Dodge. Me planning. Anyways, not us. We care about the car anyways. Considering how many cars we've abandoned in the past.
Yeah, I was gonna say. We may have to ditch another car.
So there you go.
We're gonna be ditching it if we end up driving out there anyways. Where the hell's our car out here? I don't know.
Once you're actually in Agartha or the labyrinth, the other end of it, once you're in, most of the time, what you see are actual doors of some fashion. This one's not. It's a low opening in the wall, kind of like it's just an opening in the wall that leads to a little low tunnel that you'd have to crawl through. That's what it looks like from the other side.
Oh.
Is a tunnel. So anyway, around midnight or shortly after, Charlotte and John come back from that excursion.
Good
You think you
buddy.
could, now that you know where it is, you think you could get there in about 40, 45 minutes.
Excellent.
Okay. All right. Oh, and I also wanted to see if I could get satellite imagery of various places, specifically the Lord Lewellyn of Steep's stately manor, and around here.
And try to get the. Can you try to get the satellite of the place where they had that ceremony?
Oh, in Cumbria, yes.
Yeah.
You don't have the exact location of that,
Yes.
as far as I know. Do you?
Nope.
She gave it to us. And she probably could if she's really what she said she is.
Well, at this moment in time, you don't have the exact location. You just know it's near the border with Scotland.
Okay. Then go with Lord Llewellyn's stately manor and here, where we are right now.
Okay. Yeah, you find those, not a problem. Easy to find.
All right. All right, so, well, carry on then.
Yep.
Anything else? Or is the night passing and you wake up in the morning?
Well, I'm waking up a lot earlier because, like I said, I'm heading back to the house to watch it for her arrival. If she's alone, I will talk to her. If she isn't,
You'll melt away.
Around 9:30 or so, you notice her staked out. She's sitting like slightly behind a shrub at a little street coffee shop that opens early, and she's drinking a cup of coffee, and she's like down the road from where your house is, and just sitting there, like watching, staking it out.
do I see anything around her at all?
Nothing suspicious. No.
Yeah, okay. Then basically, I think we'll slink over to the coffee house and change, and then walk in.
Okay. You do find her. And wait, so you're gonna meet her at the coffee house?
Yep.
Okay, you walk up. She's a little surprised to see you, but she's not hugely surprised. She's like, "Oh, okay. I should have known you'd be watching," which is what I was doing, making sure I wasn't followed, making sure there's nobody else watching your place.
Same thing. Yes.
Okay, we're on the same page. Good.
Mm-hmm.
I have the information you need. So
We see it.
I don't not here. No,
Okay.
no.
I
It's
guess
all hard copy. I don't want to bring it out right here.
That's true. That's a good idea. Let's go back to the house.
Okay. She follows you back to the house, and she brings out
My
like
friend-
sheets of printed papers that
Okay.
have a layout, like architectural drawings of the manor house of Lord Steep, and the roadways and the approaches. And then she's got a sheet that she's written out by hand, like the times of when people will be where, like how many guards will be here at this time, how many guards will be here at this time. And there's like notes, these guards will then move to this location between this time and that time. So she's got this all like sketched out by hand on pieces of paper.
Do any
And
of
she
them
says,
work the perimeter?
so here's the thing. We have a window. We have a window at 9:17. If we go through here, and she points at the map, we can avoid that group, and that group, which all have intersecting patrol lines. But we can avoid all of them if we go exactly at 9:17, cut through here, up through the east servants' entrance, come in, go through the house, minimal guards in the house. Mainly it's just staff. We see anybody, we put them down. We don't need to kill them. Just knock them out, tie them up, zip tie them, move on. We're not going to be there long enough for them to be able to call out an alarm. We go in. We find Lord Llewellyn. We put him down hard. And then we ransack his offices, his study, whatever, see what we can find about him. If we find more information, maybe somebody else pulling his strings, fine. But I think he's the top guy. He's the guy we need. So I think once we got him, then we get out, same way we came in, and then we're gone. We're free.
What's the window? What's the window going out? It's a 917 going in. What's the window going out?
10:02.
10:02.
We got this way. 10:02. It's not exactly the same way. It's like slightly, up the clock from there. But at 10:02, we should have an escape route here. Just go straight out. And worst case scenario, we might hit one patrol, and we take them out, and then we go.
Sounds good. Knockout. Now, how hard do you want to put him down? I assume you want to put him down dead.
Who, Llewellyn?
Yeah.
Oh, Llewellyn needs to be dead. Yeah. He killed our entire unit. We need to put him down dead.
Okay. My friends are doing some research on the estate as well. That's why they're not here. So you put together what they found with what you've got and set a date. As soon as possible, I would think.
Tonight, I was hoping.
Tonight or
Because
tomorrow night?
this information I've got here, this won't stay good forever. This is now.
How long will it stay good?
And between you and me, if your new friends aren't on board for it, I think you and I can do this. We've done much more difficult things than this.
Yes, we have.
For less reason.
Well, they'll take you on board. I'm thinking they will be backup. Contingency.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Specifically one of them.
Actually, if they're going to come at all, I think we need to stay together. Because I don't want them roaming off into some weird direction. They get discovered, the alarm goes up, we're busted. So I think it's best for everyone if we all stay together.
So we meet. How far out of character? How far is it from my house to
From this place? Hang on.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like, a third of the way across England.
Which means that we would probably need another day anyway.
Yeah, it's a good half-hour drive.
Let's see, that's 20 miles. So we're talking that's like 100 miles. We're talking a good couple of 100 miles drive at least.
Oh, right, because he's all the way down.
He's in England.
Yeah.
No, it's where he is. He's actually not that far from us if we had a boat.
Yeah.
It's a couple 100-mile drive. You got to drive.
It's all
east
the way down
and then
that
south.
peninsula across the Bristol Channel.
Yeah.
Hodge, can it wait till tomorrow night? Do we have that much time? We're gonna have to relocate the car
I'm telling you, this information is time sensitive. I had to pull some serious strings to get this. I can't do that again.
Okay.
Let
me
if you can't do it till tomorrow night, we'll do what we got to do. But I'm telling you, our best chance of success is to hit him tonight.
Okay. You stay here. I'll be back with my friend.
Okay.
All right. Avail yourself of anything you need.
What was that? I didn't hear it.
So avail yourself of anything you need.
Oh, okay. No, I'm fine.
Yeah. No, I'm going to go back and let you know what she's told me. And ask you, what is your chances of us doing this tonight?
It's at night. It's only like 11 or 12 at this point. Yeah.
Actually, it's probably closer to 10.
In the morning? It's around 10 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys probably talked for a while.
I don't suppose, Morgan, you can locate us a hotel not too far away that we can stage.
Oh, is it? Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
If you want to do it tonight, then that's fine. But you might want to keep like a couple of us. Like I'm thinking myself and
Charlotte.
Charlotte back as backup. I don't like the idea of everybody going in. I mean, let's face
no.
it. She and I aren't what you'd call, direct direct conflict hand to hand fight.
Yeah, you can hack into the cameras.
And besides that, I'm kind of a coward. So.
Yeah, and she can do what she does best. She can astral project.
Can't do much with that. That's recon.
Yeah, recon. Yes.
I was thinking.
And there might be magical triggers on that.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm worried about.
If you think you two got this for the getting in, maybe I could be part of the distraction for your getting out.
If needed.
Okay, if you want to bring that up to her, that'd be a good idea.
Cause a big ruckus on the other side of the estate.
Mm-hmm.
Right about the time that you'd be offing, dude.
Sounds good.
Find some place to relocate to nearby the stately manor of Lord Lewellyn.
Yeah, there's like a bed and breakfast or something nearby.
Okay.
Shall we go back to the house?
You reserve it for like the family reunion of the
Cricketers Inn.
the Shrewsbury family reunion.
Well, okay. How about the old vicarage?
Whatever.
No, seriously, the old vicarage on Church Road in Steep is
great.
An actual B&B.
That works fine. You book the whole place for your family reunion. Great. Get it set. Check-in time is 4 p.m.
Okay.
Let's all go back to my place since apparently she's on the up and up. She was there alone.
I'm gonna give her a look.
Right. It's right. The old vicarage is right across from the Steep Lawn Tennis Club. Oh, perfect.
Okay. So you guys head back to Alan's house in Wales?
Yeah.
She's still there. When you go in, she's like peeks around the corner and she's got a pistol ready. And you guys come in and she puts it away.
Okay.
She's apparently really nervous.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we have a better idea as far as helping out, getting us out. My friend here, and I point to Mark Savage, can create quite a distraction at the other end.
No, a distraction is the last thing we need. We don't need distraction. We need it out quietly. Do you want people to know that we're the ones who did it? Do you want people to? I'm thinking that whatever this guy does.
Look. You might not be very good at what you do, so just listen up for a second.
She gives Alan a look like, I'm gonna shoot this guy in the face in a minute.
Mark, you can word that a lot better.
Look,
probably, but I don't want to right now.
Look, I don't care who you are. We've worked together for several years now. We know what we're doing. I'm telling you, we have way in that's quiet. We have way out that's quiet.
Okay, well, here's the information on the B&B that you can stage out of. Good luck.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't want someone to cause a ruckus if the alarm goes off.
Are you good in a fight?
Me? No.
Do you know how to? No, not
me.
Morgan, the mouthy one. I'm sorry, Savage, the mouthy one. Are you good in a fight? Do you know how to use a gun?
I prefer to insert the bullets manually.
Great. We'll need you with us. We need to stick together. We don't want to get split up. If we get split up, they'll take us down, or, almost as bad, somebody will get caught, the alarm will go up, and the rest of us will have to face reinforcements. The guards will come, the patrols will come in, it'll be a clusterfuck. We want to go in quietly, we want to stay together, we take out this guy, and then leave quietly. So I think we should all be together. All together.
Except for Mr. Morgan, who is better at what he does at the staging area, which is play with the cameras and make them not work quite right.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
And the staging is this B&B?
Bed and breakfast, yes.
So that's where Morgan will be.
Yes.
You'll meet the B&B.
Yeah, Carol will stay with Morgan to make sure his back.
Charlotte.
Charlotte.
Okay, so you two are going to be at this B&B,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like a control, kind
Yeah,
of
Morgan's
like
gonna be
operations.
there,
You're going to be.
cameras. If there are
I'm good
any
with that.
cameras,
That's fine.
Morgan will make them not see us.
That's fine. No, that's great. That's perfect.
Yeah.
You guys will be alone at the B&B. We'll be all going in, taking out Lord Lewellyn. Then we'll meet up afterward, go our separate ways.
All right, Brandon. While
Yes,
she's
sir.
having this conversation, I'm going to start doing some checking around. I want to see if she's wired.
And I also want to look at her.
Yes. I was hoping you'd say that.
I'm ready for an opening.
Man, I basically just hand you this on a silver platter, and you are so suspicious.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely, I'm waiting for. I'm gonna go along with things until things go wrong. At which point, I jump out of there and leave her.
All right, fine. So what are you doing?
She didn't want backup.
What's-
She doesn't
what's-
get backup.
No, she wants you with her. Anyway, John Morgan, what are you doing?
Doing a check to see if she's carrying any active electronic equipment. And if so,
No.
is it
No, she's not.
emitting anything on a radio frequency?
She has a number of electronic widgets on her. She's got
Mhm.
like a sat phone in a pocket on her. What do you call this? Like cargo pants, right?
Mhm.
She's got a cell phone. She's got another cell phone, and she's got an MP3 player. So, there you go.
Not wired in
Okay.
it.
But other than like actually, both cell phones are turned off, and actually, both cell phones are turned off, and the SIM card is pulled out because she's paranoid.
Okay.
So there's that.
No, it's just she just repeated the instructions like 3 times, and the only reason I could think of why she would be doing that was because she was trying to tell the person at the other end of the wire that the plans had changed.
The sat phone is also off,
Okay.
but it's like in sleep mode. It doesn't really have an off. So,
Okay. All right. I just wanted to see if she was, actually.
make a
some
roll
kind-
of some
kind
sort.
plan. What's that?
Make a roll. Make a computer-y sort of roll.
All right. 13.
Yeah. Ooh, 12. You needed 12.
Okay.
The sat phone is off, but like I say, it doesn't actually turn off. It's like sleep mode.
Right.
Anybody who wants to and needs to could locate her by that sat phone. It's kind of like carrying a GPS around.
Mhm.
Mm. I think.
But other than that, no, nothing's actually on.
Okay.
So, anything else?
Yeah, she was. Charlotte.
I meant from John Morgan.
Double check the satellite imagery of the area around us to make sure that things aren't piling up around us.
No, you're clear. Everything's
Okay.
smooth and clear all around you.
Okay.
Other than normal traffic. I mean, there's nothing suspicious. There's like the normal traffic you expect to see.
Okay.
It hasn't been cordoned off and everybody's kept out. Nothing weird like that. It's just normal traffic.
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
so
apparently her paranoia is catching.
Maybe so. Charlotte, what are you doing?
I want to look at her to see if, like, she's a lizard person or something, or if she's like, if there's like any sign of like, puppet strings or something, whatever.
She is not a lizard person. Give you that for free. Do you want to make some kind of like astral aura perception kind of roll? Make a roll for that, for your witchiness.
Fine. I can always take a nap on the drive over since it takes several hours.
Oh, and I would spend a weird point for that.
Yeah, as I'm saying, I can always take a nap on the way to the next location. I rolled a 6. I have a 4, so 10.
You don't perceive anything weird.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, we should probably get going then.
Yes,
Oh,
we should.
one more thing, Alan. And I know you pointed out that the name that she used when you worked together is not Alan Brennan, and that
Yeah.
she called you Alan Brennan when she first saw you. For whatever reason, she is doing that. This was not a mistake on my part. That's what she's calling it. So you can think what you want about that. Anyway, she goes, Alan, oh, one more thing. I called in a few favors, and I'm getting the feeling that your friends here are not the most military trained individuals that we could possibly hope for. So I'm thinking explosives, rocket launchers, grenades. So I called in a few favors and I got some equipment. And I didn't want them to bring it here because I don't want to,
Good plan.
risk your house. But we can pick it up on the way.
Okay.
There's a
Well,
drop
first
point.
of all, before we go, anybody want weapons? Because I can open the cellar.
Well, I figure, in case of worst case scenario, I think our backup ought to have one of the lizard disintegration rays.
And a couple of guns.
Well, yeah.
Well, I've arranged for us to have all the weaponry and ordnance we need. And even if
have you got reload packs?
Ballistic vests.
Have you got reload packs for the lizard disintegration rays?
I don't.
Why do you want to disintegrate a lizard? What are you even talking about? What are they talking about?
We know there are monsters. Take my word for it.
Okay, well, we're not going to be fighting lizards, so you don't need to disintegrate lizards. Whatever that means.
We got the plasma rifles from the lizard men.
You just happen to like calling them lizard guns.
You keep messing with me, and I'm going to put you down.
Oh, you'll see later.
Sweetheart, if you could do it, you earned yourself a date.
Ellen,
Oh God.
Ellen, I've got rifles, I've got grenades, I've got body armor, I've got a couple of rocket launchers, and just in case, I've got some explosive ordnance that we can place in the estate before we leave, so that it'll take out any trace evidence we leave behind.
Okay.
I've considered this from every angle.
Let's not kill the servants. You know what I mean. They're not military. They don't need to die.
Okay. No. You make a good point. All right. But in any event, I've got us all the ammunition, all the rifles, all the guns, all the pistols, all we need. We just pick it up on the way.
I need a balaclava to mask my identity. I need a good pair of gloves, some nice boots, and a suit of clothes that nobody minds getting bullet holes in.
We've got it covered. Let's go.
I'm sure we got it covered.
That's my equipment list.
Okay. Are you guys going to be ready tonight? We're gonna have to. It's like a good 4-hour drive from here.
Yeah,
at least maybe 5. I'd like to leave as soon as possible.
That's what I was saying.
Right.
Do you have a car? Or do we need to get one?
Oh, I've got one that we can drive into the ground right now.
Good.
I'm ready to go. Everything I need is on me, other than stuff we have to pick up along the way. And I'll show you where that is.
I got what I need.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yep.
All right.
So you pile into the car and go?
Yep.
Cool. She tells you... I'm actually surprised you went along with that so easily.
Oh, I'm not going along with it. I'm just not arguing at this point because it's pointless.
All right, hang on. Let me see. I gotta... Oh, don't be...
I'm still not trusting.
Yeah, I mean,
Bristol. Okay.
At this point, worst case scenario, we make her all squishy and dead like.
Yeah.
Oh my god, she's like totally helping you. She's basically handing you this whole thing. I cannot imagine.
And why would this not make me suspicious?
Exactly.
Like, there's just no pleasing you guys. All right. So, you see off to the left. Hang on. Off to the left there. You see Carmarthen? See how Carmarthen changes color?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So you're going to go down and then south and then up and then past Newport. Bristol, Bristol's a fairly major city.
Yep.
That's where she tells you the drop-off for the weapons and equipment it is. So once you get into Bristol, it's like a shitty industrial city. It's got like brick
Newport
buildings. Oh god, like the bad part of Newport News.
It's the old shipboarding facilities.
Yeah.
This is where they built the ships during the colonial days.
Yeah. So it's an old dingy area. So she'll tell you where you need to go. It's up to you guys. Do you want to like stop a mile away and walk, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, we better stop a mile away and check it out to make sure no one's discovered it. That's probably the safest bet. If we're going to be paranoid, we better stay paranoid.
So what, Lloyd?
Does Bristol have this closed circuit TV network?
I'm sure it does, but it's not like London.
Like most of England does, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like at the stoplights, at the street lights, you know, but it's not. It's not festooned over the entire city like London.
Okay, well, I'll see how close I can get with the CCTVs to where we need to drop to where the drop off is.
Oh, you mean look at the area with a camera?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, you can totally do that. It's it's a parking lot next to a warehouse, and what she has told you is that it is a cargo container that is just sitting in a parking lot next to a warehouse, and that the equipment that has been left for her is in that cargo container.
Okay.
All right,
So
see if there's anybody watching the cargo container.
Make a roll.
Okay. Let's see. That's going to be a 8 total.
You don't see anybody.
All right, looks clear.
We might want to check when we get closer, though. Again.
I imagine so.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are the paranoid types, so all I'm doing is looking at the.
He's staying in the back of the car a mile away.
Yeah, I'm back with the car.
Wait,
Mind
Mark
I'm
Savage is
I'm
staying
a
back at the car. The guy who can leap over buildings and pick up cars, he's staying back at the car. So who's
car? You paramilitary people go get your.
okay? So Alan and
it's
Hodge.
not like I need any of their toys.
So Alan and Hodge go to the. We're gonna need. You're like on the way there, and she's like, we're gonna need to bring the car here to load
No,
stuff
that's-
up, right?
So you send it. So you
All right, fine.
protect us.
Hodge
Okay.
and
So
Brennan
how
get
How
two.
much? Wait. If we need to bring the car there, how are 2 people going to carry that much gear on site?
So Hodge says to Brennan, "We're gonna need to bring the car here to load stuff up, right? I mean, they're just hanging back until we scope it out, right?
Correct.
I mean, you can't trust these guys in a pinch, right? They're not just gonna cut and run. Can we depend on them?
Yes.
All right, if you say so. But I want them. Well, all right, fine. Some of them want to stay back and at the B&B. That's fine. But the other guy, the savage guy, the mouthy one, I want him with us because I don't trust that guy, and I want to keep my eye on him.
But you want him with us. He's good.
If you say so. You talk me into it.
I'm going to ask her one question. I'm going to say, how did you find my real name? Is what I'd like to know. It wasn't the one I was using.
That's a long story, and we don't really have time for it right now.
We had a 2-hour drive for it, actually.
I don't think you want them to hear it.
Okay.
So why don't we wait till this is all over, and we can have that conversation, all right?
Okay. All right.
So hang on, wait. It's like around this corner. So she's all full paranoid, looking around corners, scoping things out, waiting like 5-10 minutes before she like goes to the next corner. She's completely doing it by the book, getting up on this
The way she was
cargo
trained.
container. Right.
Uh-huh.
Nothing happens. It's all clear. You get to the cargo container. It's got a combination lock, which she opens, and clunk, and you open up, and it's a cargo container, and in it there's a couple of crates of rifles and pistols and some body armor, and there's a small crate of explosives and grenades.
Okay. Let's take what we need.
Can you call your people in, or what? Do we have to walk
Yeah.
back and bring them, or what?
But it's all here. I'll tell Savage. If you want to get the vehicle here to load it up. No?
No, Mark's response is, what, if 2 people can't hump it back to the car, how you going to hump it on site?
We may not be using all of this.
It's not just for the 2 of us. It's for all of them. Do they not want body armor? Do they not want...
There's body armor.
Where'd you find these
Okay,
people?
I just figure we give the marksman back at the car the rifle that melts trucks, and I can take care of myself. That leaves you 2.
And what about us? We want some.
Yeah, no, you're the marksman back at the
But I would rather
bar. We
have
leave
them
with the
have
melty rifle.
Just stop trying to piss them off.
Okay, fine.
Yes, please. For once.
Okay, now I'm in full paranoid mode. I literally do not take the car out of gear. My foot stays on the brake the whole time.
Let's load up the car.
You guys, I swear. Hey. Anyway, so the car, you bring the car in.
I mean, we're gonna
keep it
abandon
running.
the
It's
car.
in gear. Your foot's on the brake.
Yeah.
You load it up with the stuff she's brought you. You drive away. Nothing happens.
Okay.
See, now you're just making us paranoid, Brandon.
Why? Why?
You're paranoid.
Unbelievable. Just not. There's no pleasing you people.
I don't know.
Oh, we're having fun with it.
Oh yes.
We're just being paranoid.
Okay, so you have
I think
from
this is the
Bristol.
twist he was talking about. I think this is the twist he was talking about.
From Bristol.
Right now, I'm running on the theory that around every silver lining is wrapped a gloomy and miserable rain cloud.
Yes.
From Bristol, you've got about an hour and a half drive to the B&B where you're going to be staging your headquarters.
Mm-hmm.
So I assume you guys check in. You don't do anything particularly extreme to draw attention to yourselves.
No.
Paranoia is still happening.
And for what it's worth, she seems pretty paranoid too. She's
Yeah.
like wants to stop like a block away because she's never been here before. She wants to scope it out. Brennan is perfectly welcome to come with her while she like scopes it out for like an hour, make sure nobody's watching it, make sure it's not a trap, all this stuff. Okay.
Yeah,
You
it's
check
not
in.
a matter. It's not a matter of she's paranoid too. It's a matter of she's kind of the wellspring of the paranoia at this point.
And it doesn't reassure you at all that she seems like she's concerned. Well, whatever.
She's just making me twitchy.
Okay, so the Basingstoke family reunion all checks in.
Right.
You're all settled in, and you've got like an hour or two before the strike. She goes over the plan again with all of you. We'll go here. Here it is on the map. Exactly 9:17. We'll go from here to here. We should not encounter any opposition. If we do, something has gone terribly wrong. We get to this entrance. It's a side entrance. It should not be particularly secured. There is a security alarm in the manor. We'll go in. There's about a 30-second gap between the time we break the contacts and we can disable the alarm. We disable the alarm. We move up here. We don't know where in the house Lord Lewellyn's going to be. We have 17:10:02. We have about 30 minutes to find him, put him down hard, and I mean hard. I mean kill him so that he cannot be resuscitated. We're all clear on that, right? He'll be dead, full on dead.
Yes.
Then we will come back out. We'll go out through this exit. At this point, the house's security system will already be disabled. We can go out. We go out this way at exactly 10:02. We might hit one patrol, or we might not. If we do, we have to take them down. There's no choice. We put them down as fast as we can, and then we leave. You guys will meet us. Well, actually, you guys are back here. We'll go back here. We'll meet you here at the B&B. Then we will go our separate ways. Everybody clear on that?
Sounds good to me.
Yep.
Great.
Can I hack into their security system for the manor?
You can try.
I will do so.
Give it a shot. Spend a
I
weird.
actually-
Wait, are you gonna use your chaos agent?
Yes.
Then spend a weird and roll some dice.
Okay. All right. The dice that I rolled equal a 7 plus the skill, which is 5.
Good heavens, that's a good roll.
Thank you.
You actually hack into their security system. It is not particularly new. I mean, it was probably like state of the art when they installed it like 10 years ago, but now it's just like, eh. However,
Roll
it does have.
Roll with the times, man.
Yeah, well, what are you gonna do? It's got a fair number of exterior cameras that cover most of the entrances. It's got a few interior cameras that cover the main traffic areas and the stairwells. So that's what you were looking at. It has a remote like notification thing like that will go to ultimately it goes to the police, but it goes through a couple of other intermediaries before it hits that.
Okay.
Like local police and then Scotland Yard and then national whoever the equivalent to the FBI is. Because I mean the guy is like House of Lords former so and so, so whatever.
Yeah, I figured they'd have a pretty decent security system here.
Yeah, I mean, well, like I say, it was like top of the line 10 years ago.
Luckily, by going out to all those different agencies, there's lots of places to introduce a fault into the line.
Could be. So that's what you got going on.
Okay.
Oh, and there are also some satellite cameras and satellite sensors, like out and around, like at the main gates, but there's no, like, continuous perimeter or anything like that. It's like there's a couple of cameras in the main gate, there's a couple of cameras at the side gate, there's a couple of cameras at the back gate, but there's like huge areas that are not covered by those because it's a huge area and it would be 1 million cameras. Anyway, anything else?
Just do some preparations for if in the event I have to own any of these cameras, so like set up tape loops so that I can break in and change the broadcast and set up a cutout on their alarm to the police so that I can stop that in the event it happens.
Well, the alarm, good roll. The alarms that go out are over physical phone lines. They're not cell phones. Oh, okay. So your ability to interrupt those it's possible. But you would need to do is you need to hack into the local telephone exchange and kill it there. You literally have several hours to work on it. So if you want to try that, you can.
Give a roll. Yes, I will do so. Rolled an 8 on the dice.
Damn.
So, thank you. I'm doing well.
Yeah, that's a fantastic roll, and you hack in. It's a rural area, so there's not like thousands and thousands of phone lines coming in. You figure out which ones come from his place. You like trigger like tracing signals, and then find out where they're coming through. It's essentially like ringing out a line remotely. Right. You find out which one it is, and it is computer controlled because it's not 1950. so yeah, you can totally prevent any phone calls from going out over the landline.
Okay.
Wow, you rolled really well. What else happens? You guys tell me what you do next.
That's all I'm getting ready for.
Okay.
Oh, I'll go get the Lizard Man plasma rifle out of the trunk.
Yeah, now shouldn't Charlotte
which is about the size and shape of a what do you call it? Those saws? Sawzall?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's basically what it's shaped like, except it's got like a big like reflecting dish on the front that shoots a blast of disintegrating energy.
I was gonna say Charlotte seems to be the marksman of the bunch.
There's 2 of them, dear. We'll just take
Okay.
if you're not worried about it.
Yeah, back off, man. You can't have my plasma rifle.
Seriously, I know how this works. A man and his toys.
Right.
So, do you bring those out in front of Hodge?
No, that's what bags are for.
Just curious. So you don't show these to Hodge?
Oh, they can if they. Oh, I meant even Hodge. Oh, I meant that. Lug them out.
Basically, I'm just going to go up, get the thing out of the trunk, carry it into the B&B, and set it down somewhere next to me.
Yeah.
Hodge says, "What the hell's that?"
Oh, that's one of those lizard melty things.
It creates big holes and things.
Like buildings.
like buildings.
So it doesn't just disintegrate lizards; it also disintegrates buildings.
Mm,
It
dang.
includes buildings and other things, and yes, it's quite effective.
That's-
Cars, people, buildings, schools, children, whatever it's pointed at.
And you
We
have
don't
two of
point
them.
it at those kind of things, do we?
No, that's not what she says. How many of those do you have?
Me?
Two.
I've got this one. I don't know how many. I don't know how many shots it's got left, though. Unfortunately.
Yeah. That's the thing. We have no idea. We didn't. It's not our tech.
Oh yeah, remind me once this is all over. I got an idea for figuring that out. I just got to set up a meeting.
Alan,
Yes.
if those do what these people say they do, I think we should take those with us.
Yes.
Not
I mean,
subtle.
we're the ones who are going to be potentially facing off against dozens of
I'm
armed
thinking-
I
guards.
think that is a supremely bad idea. If you don't know how many rounds are in your weapon,
Well, it won't be
They
the
are-
only. It won't be the only
Savage.
weapon we have.
Savage, why don't you carry the gun, the big gun, and take a normal gun too, just in case? But it might come in handy.
no, our melty guns should stay with the people less likely to stand up in combat.
Well, no one's going to attack them here. No one's going to even know they're going to be here.
I don't trust that.
You know what? You want to take the thing? Go ahead. I don't care.
Besides, well, as long as we have something. Besides, well, we have two. You can take the second one.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, take a cannon.
Yeah.
And if it makes you feel better, if you're the one who carries it, Mr. Savage.
Oh no, I told you I don't need guns. They only slow me down.
I'll carry it. I've never fired it before, but I can try.
They're not subtle.
That
This
works.
isn't a sniper rifle. Consider it a grenade launcher.
All right.
Interesting.
Yeah, it generally melts everything over in that direction.
And didn't it make a noise when we did that too?
Oh, they're horrendously loud. Yes.
It's the last resort.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, they're incredibly loud, incredibly bright, and yeah, they're not subtle.
In that case, maybe we should keep the silenced pistols as our primary weapon and just keep that in reserve,
That's what I was thinking.
like in a backpack.
Backpack is good.
Okay, great. That sounds good. Okay. Are we ready to go? Are we moving in? Are we all clear on the plan?
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Just
Awesome.
waiting on you.
So, Alan, you're the one in charge of this whole thing. What are you gonna do? What's now? What do we do now?
Let's see. Assume we can't take a vehicle. How close is this bed and breakfast?
From here, it's like, what was it, Donald? Like a mile, maybe?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, so it's like a 5-10 minute stealthy jog.
Yep. We gave ourselves enough time. I think we're going to give ourselves enough time so we can look the place over before we make the 9:17 window.
Great. So like a 20-minute stealthy jog.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then we watch things for a little while, and then we make our move.
Before we head out, how are you guys keeping in touch? This is her asking. This is not me. This is her asking Alan and the people who are staying behind. How are you guys keeping in touch?
I assume we'll use some sort of scrambled radio communication.
Yeah, that's what we've done before.
Explaining is telepathic.
Can I have one of those? Do you have enough?
Sure, why not? I'll go rummage around in the trunk and pull out another one.
Great. Communication is very important.
Oh, I agree.
All right.
And as soon as they leave, relocate Charlotte and I to a hotel close by.
Wait,
Take
see,
to the other B&B.
you leave the bed.
You guys have communication with us, and if you make it back, we'll find
Yeah,
you.
we're within sight of the building, and I'm watching the B&B. It's not like I just don't want to be there.
You're cracking me up, man. Okay. So,
At this point, I fear a double cross.
Yes, leave those rooms booked because we already
Only
paid.
two.
I get it. You're not checking out. You're just okay.
Checking.
This is the place where you're. Actually, this is too small. I need something bigger. This is not big enough.
That was going to say mention.
This is a country house. This is
Family
like.
manor.
That's the mother-in-law apartment for the state.
Okay.
Yeah, that's very sweet.
Oh, good heavens!
Oh, just use the castle from Rocky Horror.
That's shown up in a surprising number of movies, actually.
It's actually a very popular filming site. It was
Here you
even before Rocky
This
Horror.
this is what you're sneaking up to. Is that a little better?
Okay.
Oh, look, the sign.
Could be for all I know. Oh no, it's Waddesdon. Waddesdon is its actual name, but we're just gonna ignore that for now. So this is where you're going, Lord Lewellyn of Steep's Manor, which has a name that has.
At least there won't be many rooms to search for him.
So it's like 9:15. You're about ready to go. You're ready to move in, right?
Correct.
Great. You guys are at some hotel nearby the B&B,
Yes.
and Alan and Mark Savage and Hodge are all they like a patrol goes by, and she times it off. She counts it off, and she like gestures to go, and you guys go, and you go to the far left thing, and there's like a door, and she's got a widget that like unlocks the door, and you go in, and across the room in the other wall there's like a panel, and she gets in there and she like pops the cover off the panel and pops out a widget and puts on some alligator clips and types some stuff in, and this is all stuff that is fairly automatic as far as you're concerned.
I just
As
got
far
this weird mental image of Brennan and Hodge dressed up in like tactical ninja gear,
Yeah.
with Savage following them along, wearing like a button-down short sleeve shirt and khaki pants.
So we're all wearing the armor, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, no, I'm wearing black pants, a black sweater, black balaclava, black gloves, black boots.
Okay.
I know, it just struck me as funny.
It
Yeah,
struck me
no.
funny too.
If it wasn't a thing of protecting an identity, yeah, I probably would be.
But sorry, carry on.
Like while she's fiddling with the alarm, I'm lighting up a smoke.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. As you get into the building, Hodge gestures Brennan to go ahead so that they can do that whole like move ahead, move ahead, move
I know
ahead,
what you're
like this
talking
thing. Right.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
So you guys do this and you start searching the building. A few minutes go by, you don't run into any servants, and most of the building's
John,
dark.
You got any video taps on where this guy is? I'm tired of searching this place already.
Oh, let me look around. Figure out where they are, see if I can find out where the decrepit mummy, or ancient unwrapped mummy looking dude is.
Wow, I didn't roll very well. So roll some dice. What you got?
Okay. 5 plus what? 3, so 8.
Exactly what you needed. You see him. He is sitting alone in a large, well-lit room. His back is to the main entrance, and he's facing a fireplace, which has a fire in it. And he has a book in front of him, and he appears to be reading.
Okay. If I can locate it on a map where they are, where he is, I will describe to them approximately where the guy's located.
2 things. No, I'll hold off on that for a minute. Okay, so he gives you the directions, and it's fairly straightforward. You guys go down the hall and up the stairs, and down the hall and up the stairs, and down the hall and upstairs. So, and just as you're about to enter the room that John Morgan described, 2 things need to happen.
Great of that. I knew something was going to happen eventually.
What? What are you? Anyway, Alan Brennan, make a spy roll, and John Morgan, make a computery sort of roll. These are not automatic, so if you fail them, things will get worse for you.
Okay, I rolled 11. And
plus 3 is 8 total.
my total was 14.
Wow!
Much better roll than mine.
Yours was 8 total?
8
14 total. Good God. How do you even get that high?
Well, 3 plus 11.
Well, I guess that's how you get that high. All right. Yeah. As you get to the entrance, and the way the whole do this, like this thing has worked out, you get to the doors facing the big room that is well lit, and the guy in the big chair that is facing away from you reading a book. And as you get to that door, you realize that you have your back to Hodge, and there's a big open room behind you, and there's a big open room in front of you, and there's like, even though you're like hiding behind a doorway, you're basically exposed if anybody actually knows you're there.
Yeah.
And it occurs to you, wow, if you were going to trick somebody into walking into an ambush and springing it, this would be the point where you'd spring it. If it were you. If it were you. Meanwhile, you don't, John Morgan does not get the thing I made him roll for. What he does get, however, because this is not something you need to roll for, is you see over on a little, I don't know, do you have more than one laptop open or is it just multiple little windows?
Several.
Okay. Over in the laptop over there, that has the cameras and whatever that are aimed at the B&B, 3 dozen guys in uniforms swarm the B&B. Like, right then.
Guys, just FYI, the balloon has just gone up. We've been made.
I'm going to visit the restroom and be right back. We're going to take like a few minute break.
Okay.
Okay. I'm getting ready to rip the backpack with the lizard rifle off of her back and take off.
Well, yeah, might be good. Well, don't just take off. Don't leave me.
No, we can grab you too.
Yeah, trust me, I'm making a big enough hole on my way out that your wolfie form will be able to follow.
I'll be right back. Okay, so Leslie, rather Alan, I need you to make some kind of combat tactics kind of roll thing.
Not quite as good, but total's 10.
10 is all you need.
Yeah.
Okay. You sense before you have any reason to, but you sense that something has changed. And like you glance over your shoulder and Hodge has her weapon aimed at you. Here's Hodge. Da-da-da-da. And she's like, going in, Captain.
No, I'm not.
Okay, I grab her backpack and run through a wall. I understand that she is firmly. I understand that she is firmly attached to the backpack. That's part of my plan.
Yeah. And I wolf out and follow.
Okay. Hang on. Wow. All right.
Not what she plays with.
Let's go left to right on my little screen. Mark Savage.
I think one of our great advantages as a group of players is our ability to react immediately to the changing situation without having to think about it really hard.
Mark Savage. Mark Savage is rolling to grab the backpack. And I'm rolling to see how well Hodge reacts.
And remember, I'm bringing up the rear. This whole time they've been doing the leapfrog thing, and I've been strolling along.
I know that, but you must realize that she
a 5
also
and a 6
knows
on the
that.
dice.
So what's your total with your just hand-to-hand, whatever would be appropriate?
14.
Good God. All right. Two things happen. You leap forward. Wait, your plan was to like grab it and then just turn at a 90-degree angle and smash through a wall, like crystal up and smash through a wall? Is that your deal?
Yeah, like fastest way out of here.
Are you
I'm
Right then.
grabbing our thing. It's a trap. I'm grabbing our gear and going.
Well, I'm just going to throw this out there. Here's the thing about it being a trap. You don't see any soldiers, at least not yet. Just letting you know.
Well, we were informed that the balloon is burst, so that's
You were. This is true. This is a fact. This is a true fact.
And Hodge has never called Alan captain.
She did just now.
Yes.
Right. This is the first time. I assume she's talking to somebody else.
Well, no, she was talking to Alan. There's
And
no question about
I'd like
that.
to
Go
comment-
through grab the backpack and go through the door.
Yeah, go forward and then go.
Anyway, no, he said he's gonna grab it and turn 90 degrees and smash through a wall, and that's totally cool. I'm just
Oh,
making sure we all understand what's going on.
Mhm.
You grab the backpack successfully,
Mm-hmm.
and you crystal up on the way, and you book, and the exoskeleton symbiote thing makes you fast and strong and smashy.
Yeah,
So-
I'm like we've
And
been
you
made.
pull her off of her feet because she's wearing a backpack. You pull her off of her feet and get nearly to the wall you're smashing through before she unclips the buckles and falls out of it, and you smash through the wall carrying what you now realize is an empty backpack.
She stole the gun.
So that was one of your previous rolls that you did not roll so well on.
Okay.
So, and you smash through the wall, and you're going through a room with a piano and a bunch of paintings. Flash.
Well, as soon as I know it's an empty backpack, I'm looping around.
All right, you'll get to that in a moment.
I
Meanwhile,
thought I was carrying the gun, the special gun. Not her.
we're just gonna go with it.
Yeah.
He
Okay.
said she had it, so we're gonna go with that.
Well, you said she had it.
Did I?
No,
Well-
he didn't.
You said,
Moving on. Let's just
I
go
thought
with
you
it.
had, but okay.
We'll just mark it up to a continuity error that somebody will get fired for later. So, Charlotte, back at the hotel from which you're down the road from the B&B. It's not as nice as the B&B, so it's cheaper. Anyway, and you see on one of the John Morgan's laptops, you see a good 2-3 dozen soldiers swarm the B&B. What do you do?
good choice, man. Let's see. Well, we've already told them that we've been made, so gosh, I don't know if I'm better off here or there.
Can you hide us?
That's an idea.
Actually, you can teleport. If I remember.
I can teleport us out of there, but I gotta have a location to go to.
Yeah.
If you could
Hiding
hide us-
hiding is easier than teleporting for
Alright, then,
whatever
hiding.
that's worth.
I will hide us, or I will try to.
It's actually, if you just want to make your room that you're in look unoccupied, that's easy.
Okay.
You need an 8 for that.
All right.
Altering the terrain or environment in the local area in a minor, unobtrusive way, and making the room look like it looked just before you checked in, that's pretty much minor, unobtrusive.
Good, because I rolled a 7 on the dice, plus 4 makes
Oh,
11.
hell yeah. So, yeah. You cast a spell, and everything looks exactly the same to you and John Morgan. But what you believe will happen, knock on wood, is that anybody looking through the windows or anybody who opens the door, as long as they don't actually come in, when they open up the door and look in, it'll look like an empty room with the light on. Just like you haven't checked in yet.
Cool.
Everything, the mint on the pillow is still there, all that stuff. In fact, anybody outside looking in the window could see somebody who opens the door, and they could see each other and not see you, as long as nobody actually comes in the room. Once they come in the room, they can see what's going on. So, yeah, yay. Leslie, Alan, you have been told by Hodge, you can go ahead and in the room, Captain. And then clap, snap.
No, and then we've been made.
Yeah, that too.
Well,
And then
I'm following my crystalline friend because I remember that I'm carrying the weapon. I am taking off the backpack and getting ready to toss it to him before I.
No. We're just gonna say she had it in her backpack for whatever reason. She had it in her backpack, and now doesn't. So, moving on from that.
Well,
You're still alarmed.
But I'm following him and changing.
Okay. So the stuff you carry, like let's say you're carrying a machine gun that Hodge got in that big storage unit of guns and stuff. Like, what happens to that when you change? Are you still carrying it?
Oh no, I drop it.
Okay.
The clothes will change with me. Anything I'm actually physically carrying will be dropped.
Okay. So you spin in place, run out, and then to the left, and then through the hall, going off after
my friend.
going off after Savage. Great.
Yeah.
And at some point, I guess you like, she's on the floor because she snapped and you just jump over her, I guess.
Jump over her.
Okay. Well, that kind of sucks. John Morgan, back at the hotel.
Okay.
Charlotte casts a spell, and I'm assuming she tells you what the point of that was.
Yep.
What do you do?
Let everybody on the radio know that about, what do you say, 2-3 dozen guys?
Yeah, it's quite a few.
Let's just call it a large squad of men in black with guns have broken into the B&B that we were hiding in.
You're not there now, right? I hope.
No, of course not.
You guys, I swear.
I'll keep them busy, but you guys probably want to get the hell out of there. And then at that point, I'll switch over and I'll call in a terrorist attack on the B&B to the Metro Police. Like, oh my God, there are guys with guns everywhere. I think they're terrorists. I hear them speaking in Arabic or something. They have bombs.
Okay, wait. Make a Agent of Chaos roll. You don't need to spend a weird point for it. Just make a Agent of Chaos roll.
9 + 5, 14.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Sorry.
It occurs to you to make that call over the line that comes straight from Lord Lewellyn's house. So. So it gets routed directly to MI 5 and 3 and 7 and 8, whatever.
all those other MIs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So the UK version of Homeland Security is like scrambling fighters at this moment. And then what? I'm just curious. What else would you? What would come after that?
Call the media.
Okay, that will take some time.
Yes.
So looping around. Well, hell. Let's see. Mark Savage is smashing through walls. Alan Brennan is
I'm making
following
a quick
behind.
U-turn as soon as I can.
I know, but at the moment you're still en route to wherever.
Yeah, I'm still
Just going
halfway
straight.
through a wall.
Just going straight through. I'm following.
Okay. All right. People are doing things, but you either see them and don't care, or don't see them. So, next up is Mark Savage. Smash, smash, smash.
Well,
Empty
no,
backpack.
one smash.
Uh-oh. Drop. What?
Because I'm going back to grab her then.
All right.
Because she got
You-
my
You
gun.
make a U-turn, come back. Or do you just turn around and come straight back, or do you like make a loop? I'm just curious how many holes you're putting in their walls.
I'll head straight through the same wall.
I'm getting out of the way.
Okay. Ahead of Alan Brennan, Mark Savage goes, turns around and comes straight back. And it's
I'll let him pass, and I'll probably
right.
Yeah, I'm
You don't
assuming
run
we'll
into
do
each
the
other. It's not the Three
flyby.
Stooges. It's fine. So
I'll turn around
Alan
and follow.
Brennan goes back the other way. The cough is almost gone. All right. By the time you get back to Hodge, she is on her feet and in the process of running into the room where you were supposed to have been ambushed, the big open
Okay.
room with the fireplace and Lewellyn reading a book.
Okay.
So as you get there, you see her running into the room.
I will
so you're not-
follow her.
You're faster than she is, so I'll let you actually try to grab her if you want.
No, I'll just follow her.
Okay.
I'll come into the room behind her.
Okay, she runs in. The old guy who was in the chair reading a book, he has since stood up, and it is, in fact...
Hey, he's not dead.
Yeah.
This
Yo,
guy.
yo, $5.
Wow.
This guy.
Well, maybe he's dead.
In that case, I'll explain to him, wow, you're not dead yet.
You will be dead soon.
Not yet, no. Sometime before that happens. And also from like side doors, soldiers are starting to pour into this room. So
You should have gone back.
so you chase her. She runs in, you chase her, he stands up, and at this point there's maybe a half dozen, like 3 on each side. It's not at this point it's not yet an army. It's like 6 guys coming in through doors on the sides.
Do what you gotta do now, and then we're gone.
Who are you saying that to?
Hodge.
She is at this moment still running into the room, and you're chasing her in, I guess. So, Charlotte, back in the hotel. Do anything fun?
I'm gonna hold off.
Oh! This is important,
Yes.
and this is something that had Lloyd rolled a little better a while ago, he would have picked up on, but he didn't. The cameras that he is ready to loop, he realizes, and you realize, that they've already been looped. That what you're watching is a loop. So when they run into that room with the old guy, you don't see him stand up. You see an
yes.
yeah. So there's that. So yeah, Charlotte, what do you know?
I'm gonna hold off in case I'm needed to do something.
Just so keep the
There's really
illusion
not
up.
much else I can do right now.
No, you can keep the illusion up. That's what you have to do, isn't it?
Yeah, that
already
doesn't take effort.
Oh, okay, you don't need to concentrate on it.
No, she goes unconscious or something, and it'd go down. But other than that, no. All right, but you can hold off in case you need to do something. Just remind me if you need to do something, and you can do it. Ellen, okay, you scooted to a stop.
Let him pass.
Savage ran back the other way, and now what are you doing?
Probably going to follow him, but not as rapidly.
Okay.
I'm going to be his backup.
Okay, you follow up behind him.
Yep.
As you get back to the hallway you were once in, to the right is the big empty room where the old guy is standing, and you can see him right there. And between him and you is Hodge, and then Savage, and then there's you. To your left, coming around the corner, are a bunch of guys with guns. It is an ambush. It is clearly an ambush.
Yeah.
I guess that was obvious by now.
Oh, yeah, which is why I wish Savage hadn't come back.
I never said you had to follow me back.
I bet this room's got windows.
Yeah. But we may have to go through a few guards.
So what are you doing?
Going through a few guards to get to those windows.
Which direction do you want to go?
What's the closest window?
Probably from the great big room.
Because, like I said, Savage said he can take care of himself. I don't need to protect him.
Okay, so you cut to your right.
Yep.
To the room where Savage and Hodge and Lewellyn are, and at this moment, a half dozen armed soldiers.
Now, question: am I aware of the fact that is she limbering up to shoot him? I mean, the old guy, or is she just standing there like she's ready to?
No. At the moment, she is running away from Savage. That is her total focus at this moment.
Okay.
She is armed, and knowing what you know, she's probably going to turn around and shoot him in a minute. But
Shoot Savage.
at the moment, she's
But
running
not
away
shooting
from
him.
Savage.
Okay.
That is her
I
focus.
think we're going to go through the window through her, actually. I don't know.
See, I was gonna use her to hit Llewellyn.
If you want to, I'll let you then. Okay, I'll go through guard.
I figure a trained military woman in full body armor against a frail old man.
Go for it then. I'll go through the guards.
Okay.
Brennan, I'm not sure if I were the game master, how I'd feel about the fact that apparently the main villain is essentially being used as a prop at this point.
To be perfectly frank, she's served her purpose.
With her.
I'm a little disappointed that it wasn't more of a surprise.
The Paranoid Four. And we are
your sudden but inevitable betrayal.
Good God, you paranoid! I did my best to give you no reason to be paranoid.
That's what
that's exactly what tipped us off.
Brandon, if she had called me Fisher, I would.
Alrighty.
Not much, but a little less.
What are you gonna do?
So we're gonna rip through guards. We're just gonna rip through guards.
So Helen runs in and heads for a big picture window. I mean, it's enormous. It's like 20 feet tall and
and take a few guards wide. With me. Just take a few.
Roll a die. Roll your whatever would be hand-to-hand combat-y sort of dice.
I think it would come under the werewolf, if I'm not mistaken.
I would think so.
Yeah. That's 12 total.
Okay. You clothesline with the soldiers and like knock him through the window just before you hit it. So he goes smash back through a window, and you're smash through the window, and you're on like the 3rd floor. So you land on the ground, hoof, and he lands on the ground, crunch. So.
Aw. Are there any other guards around that I can manage to rip up before I leave?
Where you are now? No. Aww. You're outside among carefully trimmed hedges.
Okay.
So.
This guy's dead though, right?
He's not dead, but he's not gonna be getting up without help anytime soon.
Okay, then. I'm going to move a little bit.
There's like bones poking out of his leg and stuff.
I'm not a doctor. I can't help him. I'm going to go a little further away, and I'm going to turn back and wait for Savage. If he doesn't show up soon, I'm going back in.
Fair enough. John Morgan.
Security system in the stately manor. Does it have like a fire suppression system or fire alarm system or?
Oh yeah, it's got all that stuff. It's all like retrofitted because the building is like 300 years old, but it's all there. Yeah.
Okay, so it's probably got the equivalent of like a halon system or something like that.
Something.
Set it off. Set off the alarms and the halon drop and the security alerts and anything that I can get my greedy little hands on.
Well, the fun thing about that.
Make a lot of noise.
The fun thing about that is because of the way that government contracting works and the fact this is all retrofitted into an existing building. Right. One company installed all this stuff, so it all comes to one panel. Yep. So essentially, you just hack into the panel and you go, boop, 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 and fire alarms go off, and CO2 alarms go off, and halon gas starts flooding from vents, and sprinklers in various areas go off, and it's just a cacophony of noise and stuff. Yeah. So there's Mark Savage. You are currently. Oh, this happens before Mark Savage goes. Okay, Hodge hits some large piece of furniture. Let's say a kind of like a chest of. Wait, that's a dresser, and that's a chest of drawers. Like a chest of drawers kind of thing, except it's not. That's not what it is. It's something like a buffet table they put stuff on. Anyway, she like skids around, brings up her submachine gun, and takes like cover and starts shooting bursts at Mark Savage. So,
okay.
Let's see. Do we hit Mark Savage? I need to. Oh, you need to roll. Whatever your not being perforated aspect would be?
Yeah.
7,
Ooh. Oh.
9, 10, 11 total.
Well. Okay. So you crystal up. You've already crystalled up.
Yeah.
So you're like.
Ting, 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 ting.
Ping, 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 ping. You know, like 3 or 4 bullets bounce off of your crystalline carapace. To no effect. What are you gonna do? You're there. She's in front of you.
Grab her and drive her through the head of Lord Lewellyn.
Ouch.
Howie.
She said she wanted to kill the dude, so I am giving her the opportunity.
Yeah, good plan.
Llewellyn
She could have
is
shot at
standing
him.
there.
Instead, she will be shot at him.
He is still in the process of putting down his book. So roll some dice for grabbing her, and then roll some more dice for hitting him.
This will leave a mark.
Okay,
Then we'll see what happens.
8 for grabbing.
Total?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Oh, I think you may have missed grabbing her. Let me see what we got. Come on, really? Oh God. All right. Well, as it turns out,
Steps into a spittoon.
skidding around, kneeling behind a buffet table, and going to shoot at you, put her at a tactical disadvantage. And you grab her by the collar and heave her up.
I rolled a 12.
She rolled shit. So.
I rolled a 12 on the attack.
Total?
Yes.
Okay.
8 on the dice plus my 4.
Lord Llewellyn is not a robust man, so.
And apparently he's not a lizard man.
Oh yeah, and I'm using crystalline strength.
Mm-hmm. Ouch.
Okay.
I am putting her through him. On my way out the window.
To my enormous surprise. Wait, what was your total on that?
12 if I remember.
12. You heave her at him and attempt to like just smash him with her. But the fact that he's so frail and so old, he collapses like a house of cards and actually isn't hurt very much. So he just like he basically just collapses behind her, and you knock him down and he's hurt a little bit, but it is not the splashy injury.
The lizard weapon on her.
You don't see it.
Okay.
How could she have left it?
You can like axe because the symbiote is aware and looking around even when you're not. So if you take a moment, not on this action, but you're on the next action, you can like review what the symbiote was sensing while you approached to see if you could see what she did with it. Because you remember her putting it in the backpack. Yeah. And it's not there now, so it had to go somewhere. But that'll be your next action if you want to do that. So. Yeah, so she's on the ground. Llewellyn's on the ground. There's half a dozen soldiers. Oh, who get to shoot at you now? Here we go. I'll go ahead and do that now. Oh, only 5 of them, because, somebody's outside bemoaning their broken leg. There's a cacophony of and a lot of pew 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 off of your carapace. Mm-hmm. Roll 2d6 for not being perforated. 2 of these guys are really well. Total?
13 total.
Damn it. Jesus. 13? Sorry, didn't mean to shout. Yeah, even the guys who rolled really well. So lots of bullets bounce off of your crystalline carapace, fucker. So you're fine.
Too bad, guys.
By this time, John Morgan has bypassed the loops and can actually get live feeds from the cameras. So you do now see that there are, by this time, about a dozen soldiers in the room. Llewellyn's on the ground. Hodge is on top of him. Savage is standing in the middle of the room, and there are sparks as bullets are bouncing off of his crystalline carapace. You don't see Ellen Brennan, and that's what's going on. Charlotte, what are you doing?
Well, I mean, they seem to be all right so far because they're bouncing bullets off of him. Go check. I contact Alan. Like, you guys okay? You need any help out over there?
Have we decided whether I can even growly talk at all?
You can growly talk.
Yeah.
I know many languages.
I'm outside right now. If Savage is not out in another 5 minutes, I'm going after him.
He's being shot at very ineffectively.
Well, then I'll give him a little more time to have fun, and then I'm going after him.
Okay.
Meanwhile, I'll keep a clear path here outside for us to escape.
And so far, it's been not been enough time for anything interesting to happen outside yet, has there?
Yeah, not so far. I'm alone right now.
Not so far.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye out here.
So I'm on our end.
Oh no, things are about to get interesting.
With the Mibs.
Oh, around the hotel, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nobody around the hotel.
Okay. They haven't figured this out yet.
No.
Alright, excellent. What can we do? We guess just sit here and wait.
Keep us hidden and make sure that we've got a fast getaway because I'm about to start screwing with the guys at the B&B.
Oh, good. All right, I'll be ready to teleport us if we have to.
Alan, outside the manor house on the grounds. Out here, you hear gunshots. It sounds to you like at least a half dozen people firing burst submachine guns.
Which I was told they were firing.
But outside, you don't see anybody.
Yeah. You know, I think I might have to go back in. Can I leap up to that window again at my size, or do I need to go
absolutely could, yes.
Oh, yeah, let's go back in.
Just as I'm about to... We're just crossing paths here.
Was right. Communication is kind of an essential factor here.
Well, why don't you tell me you're coming out since you can talk on the radio?
And also, don't you want to look for the gun first?
Don't you want to look for the gun?
Well, actually, I had a slightly different plan.
Okay. Well, let me know you're coming.
Get out of here and look for the gun later.
So Alan leaps up into the window? Is that what happens?
Mm-hmm. Well,
so, wait, what?
Are we communicating?
Leslie's gone.
No, apparently not.
No, communications are down.
That was abrupt. That's more abrupt than usual.
Yeah, no, Mark's not communicating. He's basically running on brutal instinct right now.
Huh. Okay. Well, she did say that she did get hit by like sleet and snow and
freezing rain and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, if it was just like a network connectivity thing, wouldn't she still have like the sparkly tentacle cat?
Not if she totally lost power or something.
Wow. Well, we'll just flow with that for now, and we'll let her catch up.
Yeah.
John Morgan, what are you doing? What the hell? What? Hello?
Whoa.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
All right, everybody froze up for a second. Then
okay.
You all went away and then you came back. I don't know what the deal is.
Apparently Google is having problems too.
Yeah.
Is it snowing in Google land?
I don't know. The guys who are breaking in or who are attacking the B&B.
Yes.
Start looking around and see if I can spot what they're using for like communications, or what they're using, if they've got like video feed, or if they've got, say, remote or easily remote controlled vehicles, or however they got here.
roll some dice. I'll tell you what you
get. All right, I rolled a 6 on the dice, so if it's network engineering, that'd be a 9.
Wow. Okay. You can figure out what frequencies they're using for communications, but this is not Orochi group. This is not Illuminati. Their vehicles are not remote controllable. They're just vehicles. And they don't even have cameras in their helmets. They've got radios, and that's
They're
really all that
old
they got.
school.
They're old school.
Okay.
But you do get their radio frequency.
All right.
It's not even encrypted. It's just like a weirdly high frequency.
All right. Break into it and start broadcasting, say, Mexican soap operas. Or something just completely gibberish, you know.
It's all audio, so
Right.
yeah. So you just essentially start jamming their communications with whatever.
Old time radio shows.
Doctor Who episodes.
Christmas carols. Yeah.
Ukrainian sports programs.
There you go. Yes.
Ukrainian Christmas episodes of Doctor Who.
Fine. That appears to be successful to the extent that you've disrupted their radio communications. So that's interesting. Mark Savage. There are at this point about a dozen guys, and more are coming in. No, there's actually like 18 at this point, pouring into this room from exterior, adjacent rooms. If enough people shoot at you, you will go down. Just remind you of that.
I am grabbing Hodge and jumping for the tree line.
Okay. Roll to hit Hodge. See if she rolls out of the way, because you nailed her good last time. Yes! I rolled really well. You'd have to roll.
I did not.
Okay.
I got an 8 total.
You go to grab Hodge. She rolls out of the way and like rolls just scrambles away from you. Do you still want to jump out, or do you want to hang around and try it again?
I'll tell her, if you're not going to kill the dude, I'll just leave you here then and jump out.
Okay. You smash out through the windows. Fly above.
She brought me in to kill the dude. If she's got no interest in killing dude.
That would appear to have been a lie. That's
yes.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that she was lying to us.
Yeah, it does appear that she was lying at that point. All right, so you smash through the windows, fly. You don't quite reach the woods because they're like hell and gone away.
Yeah,
but you get a good couple hundred yards away from the building before you hit the ground. Good.
Well, that all went sour.
Charlotte, anything?
Want me to, what? You guys need me to do anything, or am I just sitting here looking? Oh, I can screw around with the people across the street.
Yeah, they're too low tech for me to mess with. So.
Yes, but oh, Leslie's calling me. 1 second.
Well, let's see.
Hey, Leslie, what's up? Here, you can't get back in. Is it like you have the internet or? Oh, okay. I'll let them know. Okay, bye-bye. She's having internet connectivity, major connectivity problems. She can't even get it back in. Yeah, so.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah.
Well, it's about 10:30 anyway, so.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Okay. So,
I'm gonna make them start seeing things. Or should I just like, yeah.
My eyes, when you say that, my character's eyes get really big. I'm like, you can make them see things.
I can try. I made them see things last time. That's why they went left, right when we went left.
That's true. It's like
Yes.
what do you have in mind?
I gotta figure out how we do that.
I let them see dead people.
Or lizard men.
Or lizard men. Well,
Dead lizard.
check.
Well, the difference is that
Yeah,
there actually
you-
are dead people. So
I was gonna say,
Yes,
okay,
yeah.
so are you going to allow them to see actual dead people, or are you going to allow them to see actual lizard people?
I don't know where any lizard people are unless there's some down there.
Spend a weird and roll some dice.
All right. 5 on the dice, so 9.
Oh, that's fine.
Nice.
It's not like particularly like world shattering, but for the duration, the soldiers around the B&B, actually, because you didn't roll great, everybody in the B&B can see ghosts
That's even better.
for a period. So
As far as I can
now the weird thing is the cameras that John Morgan is looking through, you don't see ghosts, you only see the people. However, when you disrupted their communications, you could see it like changed how they were moving. Like they clumped up, and they started like sending couriers back and forth between the clumps, right? When she does her thing, the clumps like they start running around. and they start shooting in random directions. It's just chaos ensues.
That'll help with your terrorist call.
Well, the thing about that is it's going to be like 10, 15 minutes for you, but you're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a while before any of that comes to fruition. When it does, there will be a lot of fruition happening. But
imagine what kind of ghosts are hanging around the old vicarage on Church Road, with All Saints Church just up the road, built in 1125.
Yeah.
They probably got a good crop of them going on, right?
Yeah.
They are freaking out well and truly. And then the guys, like let's say 3 dozen surrounded the B&B, and like a dozen went in, and the other 2 dozen just made a perimeter. The dozen that are in, and everybody who works there, are all like fleeing the B&B. So, and there's gunfire shattering windows, and it's just a real mess. So, John Morgan, what are you doing?
At this point, I'll lean over to Charlotte and say, "See, this is why I live for moments like this.
This is why I stay behind, because that's how
You
gotta have
you prepare well. It takes very little to actually, take down the dam."
We're gonna say, for sake of argument, that Ellen Brennan in wolf form catches up to Mark Savage and says, "So, are we done here? Because I think that our mission has gone pear-shaped."
Yeah, I think your friend betrayed us.
You think? What was your
Just
clue?
a little bit.
How'd you figure that out?
Several clues. I'll go over them later if you need to take notes.
Probably not the best time right now. We can review it later. Do you think it's safe to go back to the B&B?
Oh, hell no.
No.
Charlotte and I are in the process of leaving where we are right now, and it's not the B&B. No, she's got him seeing ghosts.
Oh, I'm having fun with my toys, right? My food. I'm playing with my food right now. Don't mind me.
Unfortunately, I fear I have become a bad influence on her.
Oh, I was already bad to begin with. Come on, I work with dead people.
Yeah, now you're playing with them.
Yeah, well, not yet. They're
Technically,
still
she's
alive
playing
down
with the living people, but still.
Using the dead people.
I could call the dead people. I'm just making them see.
Oh! If Leslie were here, I'd point this out to her, because she's like the military-minded one. But she's not here, so I'll throw it out there for everybody. You had one real solid lead, which was Lewellyn.
Mm-hmm.
You are on the verge of losing that lead. So, are you going to do anything about that now? If you're going to do something about that, this would be the time. Because if you run away, that opportunity will be gone, probably.
Very true. She probably wouldn't want to leave at this point then.
No, we just need to nuke him.
No, you can't nuke. I'm sorry. Unless he makes a ghost, you can't get information out of him once he's dead.
And Charlotte, not everybody becomes a ghost. Most people don't.
Most, yeah, I
You
know.
can't depend on killing somebody and interrogating them afterward,
That's
because
what I'm
most
trying
people don't become back.
I know. That's what I'm trying to say. Don't count on him being a ghost, dude. It's better to interrogate them while they're alive. Seriously.
Well, Mark,
I
why don't
think-
you just,
Portuguese trade.
why don't you just? I can keep an eye. I've broken into their security cameras. Why don't you keep an eye on, or I can keep an eye on them. Wait for things to die down a little bit, and then you can just fly in and grab the silly old bastard.
Or just grab the silly old bastard now. You're right next to him.
Well, he's got less opportunities to get shot.
Hmm.
But either or, I mean, Mark, you know your invulnerability better than I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not as
Yeah.
always as useful as I like, as we found out.
Fair enough. Well, hang on, Brandon, take a look at the cameras and see what's going on inside the building.
Inside the room where Llewellyn was originally sitting. Damn, I'm not sure what Hodge will be doing at this point. Oh,
Yeah, as far as this goes, Mark says this is Alan's call.
well, the problem being Alan isn't here,
I
so
know,
it's up to you
I
guys.
know.
It is
You
you
guys
guys
just-
30. We could
Did-
just.
yeah.
What's going on in there?
Hodge and 3 or 4 soldiers are at the windows and firing at Alan and Mark Savage. But the range is such that, I mean, there's like bullets hitting the grass around you. It's not a big deal. All the rest are leaving the room and going out eventually to the grounds downstairs to chase you. So that's
Where's the
what's
old
going on
guy?
there.
Where's the old guy?
He's in the room talking to Hodge. That's what they're doing. Hodge and he are talking. There's 4 soldiers at the window. All the rest of the soldiers are funneling out and down the hallway, down the stairs, down the hallway, down the stairs, and eventually coming outside to chase you. But it'll be a couple of minutes.
Now
before
would
they
be
get there.
actually be a good time to go back. There's only 4 of them, and you go back from a side angle.
Come in through another window.
Yeah.
If that is your intention to grab the old guy, I tend to agree with Charlotte that now would be a good time to do it.
Yeah.
And Brandon, the guys who are running downstairs who are going to come bursting up through the doors.
Oh, and there's like lights flashing, and there's halon smoke.
Can I lock the doors?
Oh wait, there's halon blowing.
Inside the building, all over the
Yeah.
place. You don't.
Yeah.
Well, I
ran
guess.
the halon drop.
I guess.
Oh wow! No,
guess,
I should have stayed
it's
in there and watched them all suffocate.
Well, the window's open, so
Well, it is now, yeah.
Actually,
a
that's
couple
a
of
good
people
point.
jumped through it.
Wow. Okay. On the cameras,
At least one of them
John
didn't
John
go.
Morgan, as you're
Yeah.
watching the cameras, and the guys are like running down the hallways, and from time to time, a guy will just like stagger and bounce off a wall and then fall down because they're being asphyxiated. So by the time they get outside, that, let's say, 24 soldiers will probably be down to like a half dozen, and they'll be
Okay.
staggering and woozy. That's sad, really.
They're not making a name for themselves tonight.
Oh, and in that case, we could
This
probably
is-
take them and just retake the whole place now that they've whittled themselves down.
Seriously. I
Oh,
think
the fire department is on the way.
Oh, good. Do you want to keep playing, or did you want to stop here, or?
I actually thought we'd reach some kind of natural conclusion. We just haven't yet.
Yeah.
well, we
I
lost
keep thinking
somebody.
we're like a minute or maybe 2 minutes from a natural conclusion. But
then we
that's
did
been going
finish
on
it.
for like a half hour now, so I don't know.
Yeah,
You guys,
now we gotta beat up on the 6 people left so we can go kidnap Llewellyn.
I don't care, but I don't care about the 6 people. What are you gonna do? What are you actually gonna do?
If this is our only lead for Alan's thing and Alan's not around, then we have to go by Alan's thing and get dude.
Go grab the old guy.
I'm gonna
See.
I'm gonna go jump in, say, "Excuse me, I forgot something." Grab the old guy and jump out.
Okay, Hodge
Sorry,
does her
this
level
one.
best to nail you with a gun, and it dead bullets bounce off of your crystalline carapace, ping, 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 because she rolled shit. You grab the old guy who says, I say, and then you, you jump back out the window with him.
Excuse me, I forgot something. Grab the old guy and jump out the
Good.
window.
This is
Wait,
isn't done.
yes.
Where do you guys eventually go along with the old guy?
I assume we meet up at some random location with the car.
Yeah.
Well, you do have communication,
like
so it's not like you are wandering around without
highway motor hotel or something like that. You know, someplace out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Well, tell them where to meet us.
I was gonna say the corner of Commons and Mill Road or whatever, you know. There's
Someplace away from all of the guys with guns shooting at ghosts.
Fair enough. You get well and gone away. They never do find Charlotte and John Morgan. I mean, they're pretty occupied, so they don't find you. They may, in a couple of days, track John Morgan's internet traffic back to that hotel, but by that time you're not going to be there. So, and then Mark Savage and Alan are both pretty mobile. So, and there's, as I mentioned before, this estate has literal forests with their own names and everything. So
Ashford Hangers
Squads of game
National
keepers
Nature
and
Reserve.
billies living in them. Yes.
yeah, there's plenty of open spaces for you to lose pursuit.
I was
you do.
gonna say in Steep you have the Ashford Hangers National Nature Reserve.
There you go. So,
There is an actual nature reserve just outside of Steep.
we'll assume.
Oh yeah, and those woods reach for a ways too.
We'll assume Lord Lewellyn survives his ordeal, and you guys meet up later somewhere that we will pick up next week. Yay! Wait. What day is this? This is the 12th. Next week's the
12th.
Okay. 19. 19th. We're still good to play the 19th, right?
As far as I know.
Yeah.
Nobody's out of town.
Nope.
No. Okay. Good. All right then. Gonna wrap up. Here we go. This has been Conspiracy Theory, starring Donald Von Griffin, Karen Torres, Lloyd Montgomery, Leslie Danneberger, not with us, and anymore. Well, she'll get caught up, and me, Brandon Blackmore, GM. Apparently, if your whole unit gets burned, don't trust the one person who survived. Apparently, that's just not good. All right. Have a good night, everybody.
That's the advice I'd have given Hodge.
To not have been the only person. She should. That's the thing. She should have left one other person alive. That way, it would have deflected suspicion. Next time. Next time she betrays her entire unit, she's going to leave one other person alive.
There you go.
And it'll work out fine. Have a good night.